Alrighty, hello everyone. It is Alliance versus Alliance Fight Night 2025. We are loaded up on the DLO ranked Neb server, but that's not important right now. Most important thing is that we've got the mods set up, a little bit of added stuff there. Give it the Cataract Jammer, which is an EO jammer for ANS, that we don't just die to missiles in this mode. Blast from the past, as we're going to see teams square off in the kind of old classic Neb format. So look forward to some good old shoutcasted action. Currently on the Discord, but I have myself muted and deafened. Gonna pop my ears back on so I can listen to the wonderful Vostal and then let you all hear as well. Let's see if this works.
Lumen, could you both make sure that you load a fleet that has either an EO jammer on it or is using the mastery ammunition?
Yeah, I'm just fixing up my fleet right now.
You can hear us going through the setup stuff
Remember,
here.
this is AvA.
Oops,
So
missiles.
I'm going to mark these players down as being... Give me one moment.
A little staticky there, but we work with
Nick-
those. I got myself on push to talk so they don't hear me yet. Oh. Yeah, it looks good. Alright, anyways. Like I
Don't
said,
reveal
Alliance
fleet
versus Alliance.
feature
Should
just
be
yet,
fun.
and may have to balance the lobby. If you have revealed fleet, just go into spectator and then back in.
Auto round. Fight. Actually, first round fight. Just getting everything set up. Vostal is doing some lovely coordinating work.
Neko, are you there?
Yes, I am. Just talking to Twitch side of things. Got the streams loaded up right now for the shoutcasting.
Would you then be willing, Neko, to host a second lobby for me?
I think I could do that. Might be a little bit interesting performance-wise. But yeah, I'll just host one up and go from there. Same passwords.
Yeah, just same password, and make sure that you have those mods loaded.
Okay.
So
I'll have to
just
be
load a
4v4,
fleet that
'cause
uses
otherwise
it.
I'd be playing 'cause 10-player limit in that. But
Yep. So 4v4, 2 4v4 lobbies, that'll work.
probably get a mod list loaded for that then.
And everyone else that's currently in the DLO server that's looking to play, you hop on over to NekoboyBlue's server whenever it hops up.
So
if you're looking to play in the other lobby, hop on over there.
Push is good. We'll add this. Hearthstones, Honeycomb. What else do I want to add on here? Yeah, I have a Neko Arc voice pack. I should use that sometime. Rallis, sure, why not? Rotated maps. What is this? This Ruby Shelf. Ruby Shelf. Yeah, sure, we'll add Ruby Shelf. Build Salar. You just adding on the list here. Sticks. Yeah, what sticks?
Yeah, we do have 16 snaps, so we do have enough people for 2 lobbies. That's great.
Tombstones. We'll add Tombstones. Valley. That sounds good. Winter Palace. Sure, why not?
And
You've got. All right, that all seems good enough.
let me see.
I would just restart the game.
Fumin does.
Good old loading mod list here. You don't realize just how many mods you have until you turn them all off and turn them back on again. All right, my lobby will be hosted shortly. Just had to reload and get that mod list loaded up for custom maps and stuff.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you all for your patience as well. Yes, there is, for both servers, the password is AVA. So that's it's all lowercase. AVA.
Please don't crash again. Ooh, it didn't crash. Okay. Had that moment earlier on today where it's like I loaded up Neb, it crashed. I validate files. I load up Neb, it crashes again. I'm like, uh-oh. I think that it's just a weird little hang there, probably something Unity side that just makes it go like, wham.
Yeah, thank you everyone for
Never quite sure why it does that,
Hopefully we
but
get
anyways.
some good games out of this. I'll be watching Neko's stream and I'll be watching from this POV. I'm going to try and play at some stage as well.
One of the interesting things we observed is beams aren't really good unless they have 3 FPAs or more, because they just don't deal with the armor well enough.
There's someone talking. Who was that?
Interesting.
Also, sprinters are like stupidly durable.
Yeah.
And the cap war is just a complete slugfest.
All right, secondary lobby is up. AvA NekoboyBlue Twitch edition. You can hop in here once you've been assigned by Vostal.
Hop on over to NekoboyBlue stream. I mean, not stream. Don't watch the Catboy. Play in the Catboy's lobby instead, please. If you're playing and watching the stream, I'm going to be very upset with you all.
Yes, me with the obvious streamer advantage that will totally not lead to me ever getting blasted. That's never happened before.
Yeah, so 2 more people. Just hop into AvA NekoboyBlue Twitch edition if you're looking to play. 16 signups there.
Should fix my OBS layout.
Yeah, second
while we have
server
a
is
moment.
up now.
Let's see, where is
Looking
that
to play on that
chat
one.
source? There we go. Gotta lower you all down a little bit next to me. Looks about right there.
Leviathan, are you not looking to play in your own creation?
There we go.
I am, just later on.
Okay.
Alright, get this going here. Cool. Fine.
Let me take a look at Neko's stream. Yeah, we do have a full lobby in both servers. That's very good to see. Yeah, we'll start with pillars on your server.
Pillars it is? Alright. Works fine for me.
Alrighty then. Again, everyone make sure that you either load the Masquerade ammo from the mod, or that you have an EO jammer, whichever one. Just make sure that it shows on your icon that you have a modded fleet. Therefore, no one knows what you're actually bringing. How are we feeling about the balance on your lobby, Neko? Do you think that's fine? I could swap Stable and Hallow, perhaps.
I think Hell's pretty decent on OSP side there. I'd say like Treetone being Commodore in that, just kind of experience-wise, makes me want to have like somebody square off against them a little bit. It's kind of hard to balance this again, just not knowing all the players. Let's see. Good luck to the midi. Well, honestly,
Okay,
if they just
yeah,
run
no,
Oak, that might work fine.
Wait, did someone just drop out of your server?
Yeah, I think we just lost one. Yep, it is just blue and orange teams
we'll
today.
wait for them to
Gonna throw me off a little bit, but
if you've
I
just
need to load the mod.
joined,
Okay.
make sure that you hop on in.
Yep, we're just having some people
NekoboyBlue
cycle in
server.
for the mods and stuff, so if we have somebody else... oh, they're coming back, apparently. We're good.
Oh, they're coming back? Okay, perfect.
Yep, should be fine.
I'm going to have Team 1 DLO server, so this looks balanced enough in my book to more newer players.
Yep.
Anyway, I try to
my
swing
lobby's
people around.
good for right now.
Yeah, okay.
We had people who had to try and reload the mod, so we'll see in a sec.
Team 1, could you go down to Bullseye? Team 2 to Buzzkill.
All right. Got all logistics of getting everything set up here.
I want to keep a counter for each time Neko says OSP instead of Team 2.
We'll get this into the swing of things.
Server isn't appearing and list is it full? Yes, server's currently full. Sorry about that, Dragon Mander. We're trying to adjust things around here.
Ready. Hello to everyone hopping in. Let me take a look at both servers and see who signed up.
We will remember, or remind rather, to please get your fleets cooked ahead of time with this. You can just copy your existing fleets, save them in a different folder, just call it like AvA Fight Night. You just get like one piece of chaff off, add that ammo in place of it. It'll work just fine. That way you don't have to hold up lobbies with purple editor status. Please and thank you.
Yep. And to anyone that's in the lobby right now, I mean that's waiting for, say, the next game, make sure that you load up the fleet editor and just fix up your fleets right now. Okay.
Good old trying to get everything sorted. There we go. That works just fine. What's that much?
Let's have the Team 1 NekoboyBlue server hop down to Blowfish, and Team 2 hop down to Cerberus.
Probably fine. All right, we'll go with it. Checking if Just Fox did this because they should have added
Team
that.
2 down to Cerberus.
Huh.
There's someone that's
Weird.
not in Team Buzzkill that should be in Team Buzzkill. Harrow, is that your name?
Is this not working?
Aurora, I don't know how to pronounce that, pardon. You need to head down to your team voice call in Team Buzzkill to join your teammates.
Why is this being difficult? Part of me just thinks like they grabbed the wrong ammunition, like maybe they got sand shot instead of like the existing ammo.
Are you there? Let me ping
Any
you.
luck this does work? Honestly, it'll probably be fine. We can just hand wave it and let them go through because I don't think it'll be that big of an issue. Yeah. So nice to get this out of the way first and foremost. Looking forward to this event because
so you just go down to the voice call in Team Buzzkill. You just click on the voice call.
There we go. Now we got
there's
it.
Team Bullseye and there's Team Buzzkill. You just click that voice call and join it.
Once again, remembering, be patient with people, newer players and stuff. See, midshipman, new to the game, new to the experience, a couple of like little quirks and stuff. The editor, not the best explained of all things considered. In fact, tutorials don't really exist for it besides like the community made ones. It's not like in-game stuff, so everyone learns at their own pace. These are little quirky things, getting mods working right.
There's
it's important to
someone
be patient.
in Team 2 on NekoboyBlue's game.
Yep, I think we are ready to go when you are. Going to give us the green light, Vastal.
Yeah, no, Neko, you can hop on down to, if you don't want to share a voice call at the same time as me, so I'm not talking over your stream. It's going to be two separate lobbies.
Fair enough. I'm just going to quickly pop into my own server live channel thing, and then I'll dip back in here. Sound good?
Yep, sounds good. Ta-ta.
All right, like I said, there we go. Live channel set for me. Okay, let's get this game on then. Ready up for violence. We're going to see how good it is for me hosting stream and the game at the same time. Okay, we got Stabble and Pocket Scientist just need to ready up. They're probably just discussing with their teams, picking out their final strategies and plans and stuff there. I don't believe that we have any bans or any like other restrictions. We have the Cataract Jammer, so EO should hopefully not be a problem. People have had time. I think they've had like the whole week, give or take, to cook up their fleet ideas, and honestly, you might even just be able to dig up like one of your old AvA files if you still have them around. I kind of wish that I had fleet files from back in that day, but unfortunately, change of hard drives means I did not have my old stuff saved. So, whatever, get what you get. Let's see if we can't get everything sorted out, ready to go here in a second. As far as teams go, I think it's just balanced and stable as we're going to get. I've seen people who are like in the midshipman or the lieutenant junior grade categories and stuff. I've seen them punch far above their weight class expectations and stuff there. I've also seen people in the Commodore and Captain territory absolutely throw games. I'm totally not referring to my own gameplay here. Surely not, no. I, NekoboyBlue, Commodore Gold Extreme player, very good at game, have never horribly thrown or done awful. All right. GLHF. Let's go. Pillars time. Let's hope nobody crashes. Fingers crossed. Only have one suggestion for banning in this game. Tasty. Yes, Tasty is banned. There we go. Perfect. Excellent. Thank you for coming to the ban phase. All right. Hello, everyone. We are on the Alliance versus Alliance Fight Night right now. Both teams are Alliance ANS faction. So in the blue trunks, we've got Ant Tank, Night Sky, Treetone, and Pocket Scientist. Squaring off against them in the orange trunks, we've got Just Fox, Kajitan 24, Hallow, and I'm just going to say Stabble. I believe that's German, and I'm not going to butcher the pronunciation because everyone always gets on me about that. Good old Pillars Gaming is the start off for first fight of the night here. Everyone's saying good luck, have fun. We have relatively balanced teams and stuff, so hopefully we'll get to see some people strut their stuff. Expecting some high lethality missiling. That's what I was trying to say. But the Cataract Jammer exists as a special modded device meant to counter the EO. Basically, Dazzler for the I was almost going to call him the Inner Sphere. Oh my god, I am MechWarrior brained right now. No, Dazzler for the Alliance, so they are able to work with that. Is Stable also works for Stabble? Yeah, it's stabilization, whatever we call it. Anyways, blue team fully deployed here for the moment. Ant Tank just last to ready up there. Looks like they're going for the standard Pillars style deployment, securing their naturals, C and D point. A little bit of stuff in the kind of pocket area here. Typically see a beamstone set up there. Man, it has been a long time since I've seen AvA gameplay. This is kind of a nice flashback to back when this used to just be the map that everyone played on, because there wasn't that many modded maps for Nebulous back in like the original kind of like Steam release era. Kind of makes me nostalgic. I remember loading up Task Force Oak on this map, presenting broadside towards the enemy, just full salvoing there, back when everyone was just running real battleships and stuff. Good times, sort of. Does that make OSP one of the clans? I don't like that implication. I'd say OSP is more probably like mercenaries or pirates or something like that. That'd be kind of interesting. Yeah, you know, we'll call them Rosselhag or something. That's a good comparison. Anyways, pre-game Yem Rings, we're seeing, looks like Orange Team here coming in with a that's a very narrow deployment. Okay, Blue Team coming in with all the different tracks, separations, probably a good count of sprinters or other light assets like scout frigates and such. Orange Team, on the other hand, looks like probably going pretty capital or battle group heavy. See this quite a bit.
Wow, you have really nice balls.
Brilliant Mashal, aka Star, thank you for the subscribble there. Actually, you know what, Star, you're just going to get a little shout out here before we start the game. Fellow caster there for some Nebulous nonsense and things. They're also a beloved member of our community. That is Star. Go follow their channel. Let's see what we got in the game as we kick things off. I see an Axford. All right, welcome to Pillars of Gaming. Is this the? I think this is the that GDI emblem. Yeah, it is. I'm pretty sure that is GDI. Okay, what do we got here? I am not going to try and pronounce that. Anyways, 450 Axford, full broadside package on this thing. Seeing 1 and 2 of them deployed in formation here. This is coming in from Ketchikan. Go take a look at the internals. Yep, Raider drives, double reactors here. Probably going to have some... No Auroras, actually. I was kind of expecting some of that to show up. All right, either way, Axford pair, pretty standard. Hallow comes in with, looks like a single Axford here. VLS2 backpack, what's inside of this thing. Active decoys, killjoys, super killjoys, and then some more hybrids in there. Cool stuff. Got some escorting frigates coming along here. Nice collection of point defense on these. There is the Cataract Jammer I was hoping to find out. The EO Dazzler thing. Call it a Dazzler, but it's the Cataract class. Anyways, that's meant to be it. No comments on that one. I'm not going to even bother with that one. Anyways, see another gem frigate going along with this, and then probably, yep, there's a little Corvette. Honestly, nice fleet here. Just a little gun Corvette. Getting some strong Axford with electronic warfare support. That's going to be a fierce battle group pushing up that side. Just Fox comes in with the missile package. They've got some gun and some Aurora on this thing. Nice little device. What do you got here? Just a bunch of size 2s on this thing. You got 1, you got 2. Looks like these are all duplicates of each other. All right, interesting stuff. These are all 1,000 points. These are some expensive missiles then. Look forward to seeing what these things end up doing. These are Spyglass Reactor Boost Plane Control Missile Interface. Yeah, these things got a lot of juice to run that Aurora and that Spyglass there. All right, so missile support. That's a deathly battle group pushing up onto the D side of the board here. Lastly, we're going to see Stable here has got themselves a beam battleship. Oh, yeah, look at this thing. This has got to be fierce in close quarters. Has some Auroras on there, little zap zaps to go with the big zap zaps. Very nice stuff on this thing. Oh no, you fool! You fool! You put the small drives in the big drive slot! You fool! Oh, happens to the best of us. Curses. We'll see if that ends up mattering this game. They've got themselves escorting Corvettes to go along with this thing. Very nice stuff all around. All right, let's take a look at the board right now. Teams moving to secure their naturals. Hallow is going to be over here on the, which point is that? The B point? Yep, there we go. B point, E point. Looks like Stable moving their way over here momentarily with one of their escorting kind of gun vets. All right. Blue team has come in with Corvette Central, who is currently going onto the points here. Let's find out. We're going to see a Corvette here from Treetone moving onto the A point here. Pretty normal looking cap fleet. Got themselves a beam destroyer in the usual pocket overwatch on the A point. Got themselves a VLS toting Spyglass frigate up top, if I had to guess. Yep, this thing's really good there. That is a missile name right there. Act CMD, if I had to guess, judging by the name. Or maybe it's Mind Games. We'll find out. Treetone also rushing towards the E point. Cap players just going off here, seeing they've got, what's that, 1 gun vet, 2 gun, 3 gun, 4 gun, and 5 gun. These are teched with Auroras instead of the usual Defender you'll see on these things. That's kind of cool. All right. You know, frontline, reactive booster, and a plank control to make all of that possible. Nice stuff there, expecting hybrids. Pocket Scientist comes in with another bunch of missiles here. Are these just torpedoes? Yep, just torpedo vet 1, 2, probably going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 torpedo corvettes. And lastly, a little picket frigate here with spyglass and stuff for scouting. Okay, that is going to be a fierce package to have to deal with, considering that there's not that much anti-light battery on the orange team side. Night Sky is bringing their own battleship. This is of the 450 variety with a big VLS2 on the backpack. What you got in this? Oh, you fool! You did it as well! Both battleships, small drive and the big drive slots. You fools! Active decoys, STMs, and some breadsticks for anti-craft munitions there. Cool stuff, but there's no carrier to be seen on the OSP side. Orange team side. There we go. All right, we got ourselves a rail Axford coming in as a support factor. Got services and stonewalls on this thing as well. Did you remember? You remember your big drive. Track correlated spyglass looking like it's on this thing. I see spyglass, 2 track correlators. Probably not enough to get the perfect track quality. You want to have like at least 4 of those things. 3 kind of sometimes gets by, but you really want to get 4. And then to round it out, they've got themselves a carrier covered in defenders here. The prior jump has no damage control. This thing is really risky. Got a bunch of bombers here. It looks like they've got 2 sundials up, 2 fighter groups up. Then they've just got themselves 8 bombers and a collection of Tontos coming in with a cool half and half support style fleet there. All right, good to see one of these SCMs go off here. CMD Wake Tile. That is going to instantly get popped by Isarissa just before it ends up slamming into this skiff. Skiff here is the what pack do they have? They don't have the advanced radar package that the OSP style do, but they do have something. I think they don't have Pinard. What is it the ANS get? This one's just got double 35 mil loaded up. I think they're just using it as a 4-kilometer scout radar. All right, that should be the Cataract Jammer going on there, I believe. Which one has it? Yes, there you are. The Cataract and Blanket Jammer on this escorting the Night Skies battleship here. The Terra Invicta, as it is named. Fitting name for a battleship. All right, battle group here from Hallow is going to get opened up on. We're going to see some rail fire coming down as well as that 450. Hallow getting caught out in the open is able to rapidly turn and burn. Raider and Whiplash on this thing, keeping it evasive. They're going to quickly deploy some counter jamming in this direction and see if they can't get into cover. They want to group up their battle group here, engage with the 450 against this broadsiding target as long as they can. That's not the target. Here it is. Engage in this thing, hit it in the broadside, do some 450 work. It does take a while to put down some of these capital ships since you don't have the same kind of damage-dealing ability as plasma ships do against such heavily armored assets. But you can still wear them down with high-caliber bullets. Kajitan's sort of Task Force Oak equivalent is moving its way over here. They're engaging 450 against these torpedo corvettes and doing basically dick all nothing. Torpedo corvettes here are incredibly resistant. All of these shots are just going to overpen, dealing only 20% of their listed damage. That's basically nothing. Blue team is rapidly taking the board, approaching that 5-cap situation as they've engaged on the B side. Hallow wisely running for the hills here with their single gun and capper, trying to do work, but these are a pair of gun cappers. 2v1 over here, not going to win that fight. This thing only has a singular gun anyways that is currently looking like it's disabled, so that's going to be a 1 fight there. Orange team really needs to get their groove on. They're committed to doing this D-side push, hoping to pick a fight and overwhelm somewhere. They've given up all map control for it. Seeing some missiles coming out here. These are going to be EO Act, and these are just going to find their way right into this ship. There we go. The Ranger takes a heavy hit. Is my audio working? Yeah, weird. I thought I normally hear missile explosions. Well, we had to zoom in close enough. Magazine goes down, a gun goes down, main thruster, as always, goes down. Aurora has been knocked out. Here is a follow-up salvo. Not very often you see these EO Act size 2s coming back in this kind of AVA format. Kind of interesting to see. 6 of those things are going to find their way home. Ain't no way you're dazzling this. Right? Yeah. No Dazzler in Arc. That is going to be a very dead ship. Size 2s are incredibly lethal against corvettes, as we have found out before. Ooh, uh-oh. Minor moment there, as it looks like those things just ended up failing to measure the velocity correctly of this thing. Interesting. Huh. I don't know why those missed. Those probably should have just stayed true on target. Might have been the velocity was changing, and the EO Seeker, I believe, does not measure velocity, so struggles with that. Ooh, beams and torpedoes going to come in here. Beam Destroyer is rotated over, is going to find Hallow in the broadside. Sun in the Rain is getting cooked away at here. Micro reactors and Whiplash Drive sniped out there. That is unfortunate. Hallow rapidly having to try and move their guns over. They're going to be in a world of hurt here as more and more resistance get taken out. That is like all of your reactors sniped out. They've got singular one left. I don't think that's enough for Parallax. Yeah, Hallow gets found by a beam destroyer here, pushed up a little too recklessly without scouting. There's a crippling lack of light ships on the orange team side here. Going to show what the positioning and knowledge that you get from that just by bringing a bunch of these scouting craft can do. Also seeing a flight of bombers coming along here with some fighter escort. Cleaver flight is airborne. They've got themselves pure wake torpedoes. That is a choice? Okay, I have no idea if those are going to hit or not. The hotshot down here holds down the trigger, cooks away most of its beam down to 24%. Still got great purchase here. The ship is missing all of its main thrusters, is not going to move very fast forwards. It has to try and get some of its restorers going here. That is a very, very good use of a beam asset like that. Could have potentially cleaned up some of these escorts. You have to think about in the moment, what do you want to go for? Do you want to go for the escorts and try and trim those off? Or do you want to just sucker punch the capital as best you can, let your team follow up on it? Good positioning there for the blue team, finding targets of opportunity like that. Now we're going to see the rotation as we see up top. The battleship has gotten its nose on. The beam battleship is going to be moving into position here. It has presented its broadside, but I do not believe that it is in engagement range. No, this thing is sitting well outside of that, just at about the 7-kilometer mark, starting to get its guns into the broadside of this thing. Beam battleship, respectable damage control team of 12 teams, 8 restorers, maybe a little bit light, missing some of these compartments. At the same time, you do have to make certain sacrifices in this AVA mode, trying to get some other purchases, such as the Auroras and such. You've got to be careful with what you bring into the point defense field. Want to make sure you got the whole complete package to do your work. Anyways, Wake Torpedo is going to be missing here. Looks like go after Chaff or Flare. It's hard to say what, or they just don't get a read in the first place. Going to see Hallow now step onto the D point here. Is trying to jam out that flight. Going to see a Tanto here trying to blitz and engage. Has got coil gun and 35 mil gun pods here. Seeing more and more of this style on the test branch, but on live, this has got a STM2 in the belly bay there. I believe it has, no external fuel tanks. 35 mil is too large. All right, in the backfield, we're going to see the orange team will secure their natural eventually. Stavlo over here going to be moving on to the point. Those missile frig groupings here. They're primarily missile with the size 2 launches, but they have a gun, so it's just kind of a very expensive trio of frigates going off there. You can see Ketchden over here moving one of their Axfords on towards the A point, shooting at whatever they can up top here on the C side, trying to hit one of these flat-on torpedo corvettes. That is optimistic at best, given the accuracy of guns at that range, and the fact that flat-on, this thing's just going to get punched right through. No damage dealt as those shots wing by. Take a look in the backfield, seeing some hybrids being plotted out here from Treetone, deciding to rain on the 8-point parade here. I'm not even going to try. I know myself well enough. Don't try and pronounce things on stream. Also, don't try and do math on stream. Jammer working fine on your side? Sure seems to be. We haven't really seen it kick on that much. Oh, there we go. There's one of the EO jammers going to be activating, I believe. Or maybe that's a manual. These are Act CMD HEC-P. So if these are not jammed out, this is going to be a world of hurt for Ketchden down here. I believe those were fired on track, so they should be able to validate correctly. There's going to be some beam for good measure. Missiles away. HEC-P lazily weaving its way through. Will it get caught? No, it will not. Smack right through the midsection of this thing. Honestly, probably one of the worst angles to go through, but it does snipe the mag out. You can see the drive Reddit as well as the reactor. That ship went onto the A point, and there's a reason you don't do that on pillars. That said, the beam has been burnt out on the hot shot here, and it's about to get opened up on Hallow getting a little bit of their revenge as they've discovered what beamed them earlier and is unloading 450 shots into it. Missiles likely to follow up in a moment. As long as this thing doesn't lose its drive, it should be able to get into cover here. We see some hybrids out here. Ooh, CMD Wake HEC-P. All right, does this thing have ball jammer? No, it does not. These are going to go screaming into the target. AMM's deployed at the last second. Looks like they will deflect the salvo there. I think one of them might have rock PD. The other one just got intercepted by missiles. Good timing on that as Treetones quickly dives into cover, tries to get the repair teams on. Only 2 teams to fix up this whole ship, so not going to be the fastest repairs. Saw one get Aurora'd. Was there Auroras nearby? Possibly from the Foxhound was an arc. Yeah, with the Aurora there. I believe that thing fired off, judging by the arcing of it. I think. Does this have Auroras on it? I don't believe it does. Yeah, interesting. Well, point defense from something or other around here. Anyways, just pure torpedo with just chaff is such an interesting thing to see. I mean, you do get 9 of them, so it's great map presence, but I don't know on that one. It feels maybe a little bit greedy. Like you might want to have like the Mark 61 gun to follow it up. Still, if you get these strikes, quite good. In the backfield, we're going to see that Hallow lost one of their corvettes, but still now. These are, EO Act HEC-P. Okay, 2 of those going to get intercepted. We now know why some of these missiles are so expensive. Battle Short is flicked on for this thing. Does not have enough power for the guns, but that's going to clean up a full salvo of 6 size 2 HEC-Ps. Size 2 HEC-P normally doesn't have the penetration value to get through a lot of the heavier armored ships, but against light craft like that, it can absolutely annihilate them by dumping all the damage into a singular area. Just a nice way to deal with some of the like reinforced brick front areas. Like you might get like reinforced CIC, magazine, aux steering, and then like if you really want to be expensive, a reinforced DC locker. Usually just see people take the small though. Anyways, D point here, despite Hallow stepping onto it, is still being contested by this collection of various torpedo corvettes here. Both these from Pocket Scientists, actually. All right, another strike attempted here in the backfield, trying to clean up that thing, but once again, we see that the Aurora does its job very well. You can see over here, Ketchden moves towards this point. You can see some of those missiles get intercepted. 450 was brought, and they've just not really had a good target to shoot against. Battleship is just fine over here. It's taken some damage. Oh no, you lose a mount gyro. You lost like one of your thrusters. The horror, the tragedy. They are living their good life here. Blue team is already to 514 points versus orange team sitting on only 110. Size 2 strike here is attempted in the back. Auroras were firing and have almost burned themselves out. They're trying their best. Will they get it? Ooh, EO does not measure velocity. This thing is going to juke to the side there very quickly. Well done on that. Yeah, whiplash drive with that flying speed getting you up to like 63 meters a second or so. Quite good stuff. Look at that thing fly, able to juke that incoming shot. Size 2 will not find anything but a rock back there. B point attempt to be secure, but Ketchden over here just has nothing against this. There was discussions before about people being worried this was just going to be capital fight, but as we see here, having a bunch of these corvettes on the board, just light scouting skirmish action is incredibly valuable. The hotshot has this beam up again, is going to be cooking into Ketchden on the A point. This is a Axford on borrowed time. It is getting pounded by 450 and beams from behind. Where's that 450 coming from? The Terra Invicta spots it from up above, is firing AP rounds, which I think is a mistake given the angle. You can probably at this point tell which direction the ship is. If you look at it on the track menu, you will see the heading indicator. So at that point, identify it is broadside to you, let fly with that 450 HE. Might be trying to punch out some of the hardened components, expecting it to be skeletized. Potentially can take out that Raider drive, I think, with AP rounds. I have to double check on the damage value on that, actually. I don't quite recall. Can't break it with a beam, but it sure can make the thing hurt. Seeing this thing start fires up, all those damage ticks will potentially crit this thing out, causing a reactor bloom or fuel line fire. Halo continues to struggle against these torpedo corvettes, just cannot put this thing down despite all the 450 there pounding into it. Is just not the target for this kind of caliber. Yeah, given a look at the board right now, 1, 2, 3 Axfords and then a battleship, that is just not anything on the anti-light sweeping. I thought potentially these missile frigates would come along and do a lot of work there, but they've just so far not really been able to engage. They've secured their E point natural here, but they've just not moved up with their main battle group. They've not managed to sweep the backfield very effectively. We saw what happens there, just a singular corvette here with an Aurora. Yeah, it did burn itself out for a little bit, but was able to deflect some very expensive EO Hecate strikes there in the size 2s. This Axford over here trying its best to see off some of these lighter ships. This is a reason to run the Greedford loadout using Mark 61s or 62s on these smaller points here, or even electing to take a Mark 65 backpack. Personally, am kind of a fan of that on certain Axford styles where you're worried about getting flanked. It's a very cheap way of just getting some light deterrent action there. Get yourself a little bit of the 250 ammunition in your magazine, and you're already buffing it up by all of the ammo elevators. See, this thing has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ammo elevators. Yeah, Mark 65 with that, plus a gun plotting center, which this thing does not actually have. Never mind. Normally have a gun plotting center on these Axfords. Speaking of center, let's look on that center A point here. 450 exchange continues. A very one-sided state of affairs as this ship does not, I believe, have its magazine operational. No, 4% is not online. Treetone going to be moving in here, plinking away with the 450, the 120 AP rounds. I see some RPF coming out here from Just Fox. Do they have a lock? No, they do not, but they are starting to get a little bit of chip damage in here. Might see some of those missiles come out. Yep, there we go. EO HE strike. Oh no, unfortunately seducing onto the already dead ship here. That's the downside of direct the Seekers stage and immediately activate. That said, it somehow misses a dead ship, so we take those. That's a little weird that that's happening like that. I didn't see a cataphrag jammer going anywhere, so probably should have just been able to lock onto target. That's a little quirky. Might just be weird maneuverability on the G side of these things. I don't know how these missiles are configured. Don't typically see those size 2s run in that variety, so most of the time size 2s offer something like a multi-mission tug or similar style. Alright, the Jody over here continues to hold down the point. Hallow just wants this thing dead, but unfortunately cannot get the arc that they want. The beam continues to fire into Kajatan on the A point. This thing has just been pock-marketed and gutted. Look at the side of this thing, the full kitchen sponge in terms of the number of holes you got. Kind of a fitting yellow color with it too. Yeah, the O-Sand has been sand blasted. 450 has been changed over now onto a new target of opportunity. The beam battleship is approaching. Uh-oh. This could be troublesome. What is the range bracketing? Oh no, that's within 4 kilometers. If this thing gets its roll on, this is going to be brutal amounts of damage dealt to this battleship. Sarissa Fire is kicking off here as they're trying to peck away at some of the incoming fighter craft. Oh no, bad lock there as the Prism is getting lightly touched now and then, but no lock on this thing is going to be pretty problematic. Does this thing have a working bullseye on it? Taking a look at the components list, I don't see a bullseye anywhere on this thing. You really do need that lock. A parallax is not quite enough. That said, against a larger target like this, you can actually punch through some of their jamming and find them. I just don't see a... Oop! Does have a lock. I do not see a bullseye anywhere on it. Is it getting fed a offset lock somehow? Question mark. Don't know. Might just be that the signature size is large enough that Parallax can actually lock on. Anyway, the Terra Invicta loses its whiplash drive somehow, getting shot unluckily in the back there. Has lost its gun plotting center and one of its radar panels. Still, honestly, doing all right given the ranges here. This thing is sitting just outside of 4 kilometers. They really need to get those beams on target. The, what's this, ventral or dorsal? I can never remember. Topside beam turret is going to find its way in here. Unfortunately, though, once again with the track quality error there, you're seeing this thing dancing around like that. It means that it's just going to be soaking into the armor plate and not actually punching through. Having a rough go there as it just completely misses the target. This thing is locked up, so I think that's very weird behavior. I'm not sure quite why it's doing that. I think it might just be getting jammed out or something. All right, some AMMs seem to be deflecting the better part of some of those missiles. Saw some size 1s going there as well. That is going to be a kill on the Molly over here on the A point. Orange team does manage to secure some casts, but not before blue team has secured 712 points. Chieftain Flight looking for something over here towards B side. They've got torpedoes with Wake Seeker and CMD Wake. Still questioning about the Wake Seeker on this one. So I feel like I get the idea trying to like find the aft section of an enemy ship, throw some torpedoes in, very cheap, cost-effective ones so you could potentially get lands on, but Wake is a temperamental seeker on the best of days. Hear those lovely Auroras sing as they are trying to exchange fire here. Torpedoes, I think, are going to be deflected just by the sheer mass of that. It's going to be 8-point contestant going on once again there. All right, take a look at the points. We have C point and D point in the hands of blue team, B point and E point in the hands of orange. Good to see those torpedoes come in. Looks like some of them must have hit there. Got some damage through on this thing. 4 torpedoes is nothing to scoff at, especially with the point defense possibly degraded from earlier. No, actually, point defense was just fine from earlier. This thing didn't take that much damage on anything. I think they just got a good torpedo dump from close quarters. Bombers notorious for doing torpedo strikes against capitals like that. They are very fierce, especially en masse. 6 seconds till this thing goes kablooey. Fuel line fire will spell the end of this ship. Most likely it is a skeletal hulk as it currently stands. There's that lovely purpley pinkish explosion. A little bit of orange in there as we watch all of the armor on this thing cook off. Yeah, there is it getting skeletized. CIC is all that's left. That is going to get beamed out before too long. Structure broken. Yep, it is gone. Bulk magazine detonation, just for good measure. See the masquerade shell. That's one of the requirements for doing this kind of like modded fight night thing. That way we don't know who has the cataract jammers. Can't just target the one guy with EO and then let it rip. Frigates are trying to do police work on the 8-point, but just unfortunately don't quite have the munitions they need to take out these lighter assets. Pocket Scientist and Treetone, I think, did their homework. Treetone just elected to go with the Pocket Scientist going with the more stuff, taking 9 torpedo corvettes, more than they expect the enemy to field. And then over here, Treetone coming in with a nice, luxurious Aurora package onto their sprinters. What ship travels at 23 meters a second? Good question. Next question once I try and remember and figure out what game this goes for. Yeah, go see some ships moving along here. Chieftain Flight taking a little bit of fire there. Looks like they got dusted by some point defense, maybe a Sarissa round or 2. Fighters haven't had really anything to do all game except act as a pen aid, possibly eating some of the point defense fire. Battleship squares off against battleship here on top of the map. Gonna see who wins this one. Terra Invicta is giving ground as best it can, but the what's this? The Who's Joe is advancing here. Does manage to get the beam off right into the front section. It does finally get some stuff. There you go. Taking off the front half of the battleship. Thrusters knocked out means this thing will take longer to reverse. Seeing its speed already dropping down to 8.2, roughly, give or take. That said, though, the beams are now massed against its target. It is able to get one last salvo of 450 off. One of them impacts, 2 of them going to miss there. Not that much damage dealt to this battleship. Both of them just kind of tickling each other there. Still enough to make one battleship give ground. There's nothing to step onto the point, unfortunately, from Orange Team here. Orange Team really lacking in the cap assets, instead going heavy on the capitals. Has it paid off? Not exactly. Blue Team pretty comfortable right now with their 2-gap situation. Torpedo from the flank here. Going to see if this thing gets through. There's Auroras and Defenders in arc here. Going to see this thing likely get dusted or miss. Yep, that's swing and a miss as the pure CMD will get jammed out, I believe, by the ball jammer there on the underside. More torpedo dump. Kind of a nasty surprise here if those Auroras or jammers burn themselves out. That said, plenty of time in that interrupt jammer. Do kind of want a secondary seeker on these torpedoes here. Just pure CMD has a tendency to get soft killed. That's what you typically see a secondary seeker of something like Home on Jam or Wake. You can also go with the Axe Seeker if you so desire, but that opens you up to other types of jamming as well. So, give and take. Anyways, there's the beam from, I believe, the belly. Going to find one of these torpedo corvettes. Yeah, that thing is quickly atomized here. Not much left in that thing. Still technically alive by, I think it's the small locker restore. Yeah, hasn't quite killed it off completely yet, but should be shortly. We see that. Beam chasing this thing. Can't quite turn the beam fast enough. This Corvette running for the hills here. Will the backside beam get into arc? No, does not quite look like it. Battleship is trying to roll and get there, but is dangerously close here, so they have to try and turn that battery as fast as they can. I don't think they're going to get it. No, it is overshot, and they're going to probably get away there. There we go. Stabble senses opportunity, is going to try and move onto the point to capture this while their battleship was giving ground. Meanwhile, over on the 8-point, bloodshed has occurred here. So we see 2 of the 3 frigates has been dusted by something or other down here while we were distracted. This last one is going to try and get onto the point here, is going to peck away at the Emma here, little torpedo corvette that I believe has expended its payload. Nope, just has one of them left. They're contesting the point still, but I don't think for too long. Actually, no, never mind. Treetone over here has got themselves some 120 here. Lamau the Rock, they say, from Night Sky. What is Night Sky looking at? Where is Night Sky, actually? Here we are. BBB ramming speed. Apparently going right into the rock or something of the matter. See, is this thing... Oh, Maybe it did a little bit of a bump action there. Interesting. Normally, the traffic collision avoidance system is pretty good at preventing ships going face first into it. That said, you can do a little bit of turning. I totally have never spun my battleship or liner by bashing the side of it into a rock, scraping the paint, and then using that to quickly get around because I forgot dragonfly drives or yard drives. No, couldn't be me. Hammer torpedoes are out on target. Gonna see if these get through. AMM not gonna cut it. Defender will clean it up at the last possible second there. Love to see it. That is 2 stable deflections. Firestorm flight chipping away at the point defense ammo count here. Point defense ammo in turn chipping away at them. Source fire as well, just for good measure. C point cap will go through. Orange team sudden reversal, securing themselves a 4 cap situation. I really wish we had timers on this thing. That's been a feature I requested at one point, so fingers crossed eventually that will get added. Oh no, the damage control teamless ship has been found. Fire has been started on this thing, potentially can spread through the entirety of the ship. Loses one of its large pads here, other one is still operational. Bulk magazine has some torpedoes and stuff in it. A couple KB-22s in there. KB-22s, I don't... Can you still carry those in Tontos? I don't remember. I think that change was pushed to live where you couldn't carry them. So these bombers, I don't know if you could actually carry bombs in this build. I think that KB-22s were restricted from fighter craft, and that was a change that was made. I don't know if that's been pushed to live yet. I've been doing too many public test branch games and stuff. Anyways, 8-point contention goes on. We see the frigate here just kind of soaking up these incoming shots here. Corvette has a little bit less health bar, but it does have more gun. Unfortunately, one of them has been knocked out at the current moment. The other one is barely functional as damage control teams are trying to work overtime and get those things. Unfortunately, they're stuck on the reactor and the radar so that they can see their target. Need to prioritize and fix your guns. Looks like they're firing AP rounds here, I think. Potentially out of high explosive ammo? Questionable on that. Ammunition empty on these things. Oh, wow. These guys have just fully expended their magazine. That's kind of a surprise. Okay. Makes sense, though. You can equip KB-22 in the size 3 mounts on Claymores. Right. You can. I totally forgot about that because I see them as size 2 mounts. Totally forgot. Shows how much I play carrier as well. Anyways, you're going to see this axe right here eating a torpedo right into the reactor section there. That said, the guns will still remain operational. Not that much effect against the Linda over here. This thing is pretty happy with this torpedo strike. Is now just going to elect to leave. Seeing all those shells just punch right through, go at the other side. I think they had like 1 detonation, but again, splash across the entirety of a ship like this. There's so many components that you'll hit at once, it'll deal negligible damage. Maybe like 2 or 3 to them in total. 8-point cap is gonna eventually be secured here, I think. That's an E-point over here. We see Tree Tone steps onto the point. Does not appear to have any ammunition left. Do they have anything in the mag? No, they do not. Sabo will be able to hold this with their Mark 64 on the belly of this. That's not a thing you typically see. Usually see these with these smaller caliber 120s. Beam gonna say something. Tree Tone commits the hot spot on, or the hot shot on to the hot spot there of that Corvette. Reactor Bloom goes off on the 8-point, is going to strip all of the armor onto the, well, all of the armor off of these ships here. 8-point is a graveyard right now, looking at all these dead and disabled ships currently sitting on it. E-point cap, I think, will go through there as Tree Tone is able to clean up with their beam destroyers supporting their front line of Corvettes. Hallow continues to try and hold a D-point. They still cannot kill off these Corvettes. The bane of the Orange team's existence this game, just a mass number of Corvettes. In total, there's been, let's see, there's 9 here, 5 here. That makes for, what's that, then 15 total Corvettes against a total of 2. Yeah, the light ship gameplay, it does matter. This is why Vauxhalls can be quite fierce, able to sweep through all of these lighter assets. Things like these ships and pocket scientists over here. Very cheap asset, able to get a lot of them, but at the same time, these can get cleaned up very quickly by those sweeper ships. See what happens when a Beamstone commits on target or a Vauxhall with its 250mm RPF rounds. B-Cap is going to finally go through his catch-down. Looks like they managed to get over here and eventually clean up targets. I believe it was the Linda here? Yeah, it looks like the Linda finally went down due to a lucky shot or possibly some fires cooking away the ship here. They will get the B-point back here, I think, and, well, they will hold the B-point, rather. Hotshot is going to be cleaning up on the 8-point side. Unfortunate aim point situation there as the hobby is largely missed. Does look like the front of this thing did fall off. Oh, that's going to be center mass hit. Yeah, that's going to immediately gut out the reactor. Drive is most likely going to be next. CIC likely to follow through. This thing just needs to cycle its beam once more. Where's the hot shot? There it is, locking onto target. Burnt Chicken Nugget on the point here is going to get torched in a few moments. Come on, Beamstone, let her rip. Let's see your beams. Don't disappoint me now. Fire for effects. Engage the Death Star. Fire. Let it rip, bud. It's right there. Did they red out the... Oh, no, you fools. You battle shorted. You should have just let your gun cycle. You fool. Fortunately, now they have to repair that thing up to like 10, 12%. I forget exactly what it is. Still, Orange team with a 3 cap is not going to catch up to blue team's 2 cap right now. They need to get themselves a 5 cap, I believe, or at least a 4 at this stage. I think a 4 cap would do it. 664 to 910. Yeah, 4 cap situation would reverse this. They have to secure themselves the E point or the A point. They are trying to do it, but unfortunately, they don't seem to have anything in position. Hotshot is going to be cooking its beam. Oh, that's why. You've got a fire on this thing. That's going to slow your damage control team's repair rate. Also, down to just 1 member on this thing. Hang on a second. Singular damage control team. If this gets a bad tick here from this fire, then that might be... Oop, never mind. Barely alive on this thing here. If they lost the damage control team, beam would never come back, but now it's starting to repair. Kazakhstan doing their best here. 450 onto the A point, trying to clean up the blue team's corvettes. That said, that point of no return is rapidly approaching here. You really need to secure these points. Orange team trying their best. Hallow moving one of their jamming corvettes over towards the east side, seeing if they can't get that cap off. They're engaging their 450 onto the hot shot here. 2 shots going to swing and miss, though. There's some more rounds coming through as Kazakhstan also going to find them out. If they can take out this beam destroyer and potentially secure this A point, it will be victory for the orange team despite their initial deficit. That said, blue team is very quickly approaching that point of no return where they will have enough points that the orange team, even with a 4 cap, cannot catch up. The FPA with only 1 DC team. Yeah, it's a choice to be sure. Oh my god, that's how you power this. I was about to say, I don't know how they juice this thing. It turns out, yeah, 4 plant control centers and a reactor booster will do that for you. In all honesty, it's better to just ditch one of these focus particle accelerators. Get yourself a small reactor. Helps out quite a bit with powering these builds and stuff. I believe that they had a small locker? Yeah, so unfortunately the teams had just kind of suffered from damage. Unlucky shot will basically put the ship out of commission as there's just 1 person left in that damage control team. Yeah, certainly a tech of choice there from Treetone. All the power, I just guess, is being put really into getting that extra focus particle accelerator. I don't think that they need that. They do have a small reactor. No, 2-stack. In that case, that is a small reactor booster. The small reactor slots are these focus particle accelerators. They've got a large reactor and a dragonfly. That's to do a little bit of building. Not so much backseating, but just like offering feedback. Because again, plant control centers are like, what, 25, 30 points a pop. So this is like 100 points instead of just going for that reactor. All right, E point potentially secured by Hallow here. Treetone moving into position to intercept, though. They're going to try and sit on this E cap. I believe they're past the point of no return at this stage. 966 on the board for blue team, 748 for orange. I think that is going to be a victory for blue as well. Going to see over here on B point. Pocket Scientist trying to move in for the back cap here just in case one of those points does flip. Goes to show, once again, the value of bringing these lighter capper assets, just moving around the board, being aware of your enemy's formations and locations, being able to step onto the point in the mid to late game with one of these assets is not just about who races to their natural points first, but who keeps these light assets alive into the late game and then decides to use them correctly at the right timings. Communicate with your team, figure out opportunities, discover, hey, this is a target of opportunity. I take out the goalie, now I can go for it. Send in your light assets instead of the axe for it, as we saw what happened when you put an axe for it onto a neutral point like this. Overwatched by a beam destroyer and a battleship, you are in for a rough time. Instead, to try and take out those guardian assets and then go for it with the cappers. Speaking of cappers, blue team continues to hold the A point here. 986 on the board here to 778. That will be blue team's victory. Point of no return has been reached a little bit before this. Good game, well played, good showing, honestly, from Orange Team. They had a sudden deficit as they quickly all deployed towards the D side, went for that rush, weren't able to find targets of opportunity, got beamed for it, and then lost a lot of their map control, but still was able to bring it back somewhat in that mid-game. Kind of approaching the late game section, they quickly discovered just how painful it is trying to deal with all of these capper assets versus the Orange Team's very thin and narrow stuff. I feel like the missiles didn't quite get the effect that they were looking for, trying to do that sweeper roll, take out some of those lighter ships. The Aurora's very good. GG, well played, is called here. 1,000 points to 802. Good showing from Orange Team. Blue Team will take Game 1 here on this AvA Fiesta on the Pillars. Let's take a look at the post-game screen and see just who has the most damage. Antank came in doing a little bit of rail stuff. We saw the rails get some shots in over the course of the game. Not much of that is going to be showing up on the damage control boards here. Most of the rail damage is from doing crits. Only a couple of bombers actually go out and get some torpedo strikes off. Not the most in terms of support strikes there, but still got the job done well enough when it was needed. Night Sky able to get a respectable amount of damage done when they finally were able to commit onto target with the Terra Invicta, just otherwise didn't have too many things to shoot at. Pocket Scientists running around the board, just using all their cappers. Again, this wasn't really a game of damage dealing. This was a game of just putting your assets in the right spot. Treetone able to get some stuff done with some of their gun play, as well as their beam being able to rack up just shy of 15k damage on that beam destroyer. Nice stuff all around there, blue team. Orange team suffering a little bit there. Hallow got surprised by a beam destroyer from below, but was able to recover their axe rated, doing a good job racking up 15k over the game, able to use their jammer support vessels there. Just Fox's missiles weren't unfortunately able to get onto target. These are very expensive rains, and I don't think that they quite got what they were looking for. They fired off a lot of these, plenty of them just getting soft killed or shot down, unfortunately, by the Auroras. Kajitan pulling a respectable 16k with a single Axford, their Task Force Oak pairing. Unfortunately, one of them did get dusted on that A point, as we saw, but the other one able to do a pretty good job sweeping what they could. Stabble pulling off 21.7k damage with their Beam Battleship. Respectable numbers, but unfortunately just wasn't quite the stuff that the Orange team needed in that situation. So we're going to exit back to the main menu and get another game going. This has been game one. Meow meow. All right. Yeah, nice numbers there overall. Kind of a interesting difference compared to the ANS versus OSP games we see. AVA, NekoboyBlue's game 2. Password going to be the same as before. There we go. Let's load up another map. I'm just going to load up... What do I want to load up on this? What do we feel like? Has to be a 4v4 map, unfortunately. I had the rotated maps. That's good to know. Let's load up Honeycomb. Honeycomb is always fun. There we go. Caltrop, they've not earned a Caltrop sentencing yet. All right. We're going to do ad break into Meowshin, and we'll be right back because we had to run a 3-minute break. Anyways, AvA, no, AVA. Good one there. I'm sure Vasa will love that. Anyways, loading up the lobby now, so I'll be right back, folks. Just get yourself a 3-minute water break. Meow meow.
Not cool.
Alrighty, folks, I know we're still on ad break, but I just sat back down after doing a little chit-chatter here, figuring out some technical stuff. Just wanted to spare Twitch the yammerings of that. But I'm back on the main Discord. We're getting games set up.
Yep, so everyone just resubmit it. Unless you were the names Nick, Mackinac, or Star. Those three do not need to sign up again because they're already on the list.
Yay.
Too late.
Oh, did someone re-sign it up again? Star. And Nick the Nuker did sign it a second time. Oopsies. That's okay, I'll forgive you.
Before you said I didn't have to.
No, that's fine. I forgive you. You're only going to get nailed to a cross.
It's better than being on your list.
Okay, so that means we have 18 players signed up. So that means we can do a 4v4 and a 5v5, if my math is correct. Usually it is. So I'm going to name some names, and those players are going to be going to specific lobbies. Can I have the following players remain in DLO? Nick the Nuker, Mackinaw, Star, Silver Pickaxe, Kayatan, Stable, Nick Up 9, Solar, Star, Lambu, and Pocket Scientist. Those players, please.
Could I get the password?
Password is AVA, all lowercase. Thank you all for your patience.
Dragonbender, if you're listening, could you please clear the lobby here as we're trying to assign people? I just want to have it set up for that.
And
Until
are
Vassal
those the
tells you
people
to go
that I
where.
named? Oh god, we are not playing on Blue Moon. List maps. Do I have admin on this server? No, I never gave my vote option. Oh yeah, no, you can do.
No.
Can you swap it over to?
I won't get to see your funny
It's a
fleet.
5v5.
Oh, dang it, Star. I'm sure I'll see it another time. Or you'll send me a fleet file or something like that.
What's the best 5v5? I mean, actually, you know what? I'm gonna make you all suffer. I'm throwing you onto Nyx's eye.
I mean, it's perfectly
hate
fitting
all
for
of you.
AVA days.
Vote option, victory.
I'm not going
Points.
to try and bother Vastal right now with that, Star.
3. Please vote yes to the resolution. And could everyone else please join NekoboyBlue's lobby that was looking to play? And the sign-up sheet. Thank you very much.
All right, yep, I'll take the overflow in that and then try and sort our teams. I kind of wish that the game was
So the players
by
that should be
default
heading over to
more
the other
than
servers: Pocket
10.
Scientist and Fumin, Nick the new. Wait, no, that's the second instance of you. So it's Pocket Scientist and Fumin, Scrubbus, Elms, Night Sky, Ant Tank, Demisen. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Demyson, but it's fine.
Remind people,
we're
please
mi-
only join the games if your name has been called out by Vastal assigning these things. We don't want to have to like try and shuffle people around and kick them and do stuff like that because otherwise it's inconvenient. Thank you.
Mhm.
I'm still trying to select my fleet. I'm in the correct server, I think, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, we got our 5v5 there. What's your name, Nick?
Who, me?
Oh, sorry,
Alright.
the other Nick. 'Cause two
Good
Nicks in
old
here.
setup scuffleage. Oh, pretty fun once we
Same
got the game
as- same
actually
as
on
my
proper.
Discord name, same as my username is basically everywhere.
I could see you in the lobby.
Should have full teams here before too long once we figure this out.
Oh dear. So there's someone that's in server number 1. Oh, well, the DLO server that's not supposed to be in there. Let me take a look.
I'd seen in side chat it was Pocket Scientist have apparently been assigned to both. That's that one in yours?
Pocket Scientist is in DLO here.
Yeah, Pocket, you aren't on that one. You're in server number 2.
If my game just crashed out, I'm gonna try and rejoin.
Yep. So we need the. I'm gonna name them out one more time for server number. Well, the
Check out my
DLO server
Polish
is
lesson
Lambu,
once.
Star,
I didn't
Solar,
even
Nick
try.
Up 9, Stable, Kajatan, Silver Pickaxe, Star, Mackinaw, no, and where's the other one? And one other person. It was one of the other Nicks. There we go.
Should be me, right? For server 1, the DLO server.
Look, guys, I'm bad enough at English, okay? I don't need to be bad in
That's
other
fine,
languages.
Yeah, there we have our full server, and everyone else pop into NekoboyBlue's lobby. If you're looking to play, that's everyone else. That's AvA NekoboyBlue's game 2.
All right, Build Crafter, I see that Canuck mode.
Wait, am I in Nekoboy or am I in server?
Not going to start that yet,
Well,
as we're still doing the
server
technical
1 is
stuff.
DLO.
But I'll get
It
to your
says on the
Connect mode in a
top
little bit,
DLO.
all right?
The other one is AvA NekoboyBlue's game 2.
Can't tell if your name has been called yet.
Okay,
You need to listen to
that's
Vestal
very
then.
fine.
They're in the main
Second
channel here, so you can listen to that
You're in the
baseline
first
stuff.
one, sir.
You're in the first one.
If you aren't
Okay.
heard, you can speak up, or you can speak in the side chat, and we'll get you all sorted out for that. Yeah. Just keep your ears open, keep yourself
Let me
in
take a look at
the
this.
channel there, and you'll be good.
Yeah, everyone that's in the DLO server, again, make sure that you load the special ammunition if you don't have an EO jammer. Just so no one can actually tell who's using what. Swap your fleets around a little bit, all that stuff. There's an ammunition called the Masquerade ammo. Put that in.
Still waiting on one last person in Game 2 lobby.
Okay.
Could you just, Vestal, if it's easy, could you just put the name list in like the side channel there so we can grab people?
Can I put the what?
The name list for the games. Can you just like copy paste that to the side chat so we can just ping them?
I think we one person has dropped out, it looks like. Someone that was here.
Yeah, that would be me. I'm currently trying to rejoin.
There we go. Yeah. So, yeah, Nick, you join NekoboyBlue's game then, and that should be fine. So,
Alright, sure.
connect to. Let me take a look at the balance. Could I swap on team 1 Nick up 9 with a Lambu? Is that okay? Any objections?
Done.
All right. Good stuff. Thank you. And can I have this is for the DLO server, can I have team 1 do bullseye, team 2 to buzzkill? Thank you very much. Good luck, folks.
Coordination woes. Always takes us a little bit to get everything set. Hopefully we get our 8th player in here. Still waiting on the 8th player. Oh, there they go. Thank you. And Vestal, Twitch server stream is up if you want to coordinate or balance things, or I can do my best.
Yeah, no, I will. Can I put Scrubbus on team 2 and swap Scrubbus with Nick? So both of them hop down to spec. Yeah, Nick, could you hop up to team 1? Make sure you download the map as well, real quick. Oh god, hearing my voice on your stream causes a great deal of disgust, Neko.
You sound fine, buddy.
Yeah, so do we just need Nick to download the map? You can download it by just clicking on load.
Yep,
the mod.
I can get through most of the curation stuff there, I think. Just wait for people to respond.
I think what's doing. I'm trying to load up my fleet, but it's still loading.
All right. If you do get stuck like loading mods or stuff, you can always just disconnect and then reconnect manually.
I'm not loading the mods. I'm trying to load up my fleet. I'm trying to choose a fleet.
Please do so on the team then that you've been assigned.
That's it. I'm trying to load up the fleet to choose it. I'm trying to load up anything to choose a fleet. I'm trying to open that menu.
Really here. There we go.
Is there a problem with your game? It should not be taking this long, sorry.
Oh no, drown the campfire team. All right. We'll do this after we get everything sorted out, okay? Good ways. No! The woes of technicology, right?
I think so. I've basically closed everything else in the background already, so...
Might be an issue with your game. Just disconnect from the lobby and reconnect.
Yeah, I just do that real quick.
The game's not responding.
Okay, then just close
Alt
out.
F4. Yeah.
Right, okay, sure.
Your spot will be reserved. Just come back as soon as you can.
I might try moving it to my SSD or something, yeah.
I suppose we could always kick them if we have to. Fortunately, the game seems to be bugged out or not responding or whatever. I was having launch issues myself today.
Trying. This damn laptop has a i7 11800H and
you can just kill the process, right? Oh, there you go. Okay, you're good.
Yeah, just task
I
manager.
have no idea how the hell this is so slow.
All right. Please hurry back promptly. Otherwise, we'll have to find somebody to replace if you have tech issues.
Yeah, I'm just gonna move it to my SSD. That should be done by the next game.
Okay, you're just gonna do that. Okay, then we can get other people in. Rom, could you connect to AvA NekoboyBlue's game too? And Haro, we lost Haro as well.
Yeah, so we need 2 fills then.
Yeah. So if anyone in this voice call, I can hear my voice, wants to play, hop into AvA NekoboyBlue's game number 2. We need 1 more person. First come, first serve.
Somebody, one buddy, anybody.
Okay,
Nekoboy
Catboy,
game coming
I'm
soon.
sentencing you to playing.
Am I being forced to play? Oh no.
I'm sentencing you to AvA.
I didn't cook fleets for this. I'm a fool. I thought I was just casting today. Quick, I'll have to grab this. Oh, where is that? There was a shipyard channel with fleets in it, wasn't there?
Yeah.
What?
Please do not run those.
Alright, let's see. What a Hallows is called Bad Cap Fleet. That's probably fine. Oop, hang on. Do we get Dragon Bender? Oop, we got Dragon Bender. Maybe saved. Maybe. Fingers crossed. Alright, I should
You know
actually.
Neko, run those fleets, get brain damage. It'll be funny.
Oh, you're saved, Neko. Dragon Bender hopped in.
I
Dragon
just
Bender, make
noticed.
sure
Yep, thank you, Dragon
you,
Bender. Alright, team balance wise,
load
this
the
looks
mods.
not bad. Take a look at that one later. Alright, I'm pretty happy with this one if you are, Vastal. Want to get it on?
Yeah, this works.
Alright.
Team 1 down to Blowfish, Team 2 down to Comet, please.
Something on the company about watching you guys get a couple games together. Yeah, Vassal and I, we did some of the tournament organization stuff back with the what was it called? Blank on the name. All Hands on Deck tournament.
So
That's
if
the
you need
one.
help with
Yeah. So
anything,
we
I
figured out how to
would like
do the coordination of like, all right,
You
yep,
would
this
like
game,
to?
this time,
Okay.
these things.
You know what? You could do the entire next sorting. Or do you think you're up for that? Do you think you're ready?
Sure.
Hear Levy talking somewhere. Where's that general call? There we are.
Could probably just leave in the chat who has done.
Levy's
the
mic's always very
tournament or
quiet.
whatever, I don't know.
This is because Levy is actually a very small slug cat that we had to put on a
Okay.
giant pedestal and speaker. True lore. You heard it here,
Additionally,
folks.
for anyone else that wants to play in the next games, there's a sign-up sheet. I'm going to post it again in the text chat. Sign up to it if you're looking to play. Bada bing, bada boom. We got Share Me here. Sharing your screen. The Cat Boy is still in the voice call as well. If you want to watch the Cat Boy's POV, you go to that.
You can find mine on Twitch. I linked it in the Neb Streams area. I was just going to hop back to my own little area so that way I don't interfere with anyone else and get background noise.
Alrighty.
Okay, my stuff has been transferred over to the SSD. Hopefully this will work for the next game.
Yep. We'll hopefully get you in the next lobby then. All right. Anyways, I'll be back. Vastal, DM me if things come up. You know how to do. Yeah. Catch you later. All right. Private channel has been reached. Excellent here. And now we can do the wonderful noises. So people requested to drown the cat boy. Okay. Okay, bud, I'm back in Canuck mode. I've been drowned and all that. Thank you for all this. All right, exceptional Canadian hours going right now. Let's get this game on. Everyone has their channels and stuff is coordinating together. This means that they should be doing their stuff. Come on, Rom. You've had all day to get your fleet together. You're down 10 points in this. This shouldn't take you 2 seconds. Just get your fleet editor, get this game on going. Scrubbers managed to do it. If Scrubbers can figure it out, then surely you can't do it, Rom. Come on. Let's get this going, bud. We got 5 minutes of Canuck mode starting right now, so we're going to make it count while we can. Hopefully we get into the game. Ready up and roll. Let's do this. Yeah, probably should have had a brewski and a cold... a cold brewski, nice afternoon would be great for this kind of gameplay. I'm not saying this is something you have to be intoxicated to enjoy, but I've seen some of the fleets y'all put together. They certainly are creatures. Honestly, first game, First game had a couple of kind of creatures fleets, kind of like some weird sized frigates there. Maybe... I don't know. It's like they had like a good idea behind them, but they needed like a little bit of tweaking or adjusting and stuff in there. Not to say that they're bad or anything, but I just feel like they didn't quite have the maneuverability they needed for those missiles. Same with the torpedoes. We saw a couple of them were just like pure command or like pure wake. It's like you got to combo your seekers there, do mixed salvos, all that good stuff. Hot cold tech is a wonderful thing. Still nice to see people bringing back some of the like old classic torpedoes and the. It was like, what was it? Just the mace torpedo. Yeah, that was the thing. Way back in the day, that was like the one torpedo you had. Pure command, just lethal thing because you didn't have as much point defense ability because the point defense turrets, I'm going to be honest, they just kind of sucked. Like the defender didn't hit nothing unless it was directly on. So, gotta feed your dog real quick. Not the DLO dog. Oh, no. All right, come on, Rob. You got to be here, right? Surely. Bud just needs to grab a fleet and ready up. Not sure what he's waiting on. Hopefully we don't have to like kick him because I mean like have to rebalance and stuff. So fingers crossed they're back in time. They've still yet to load up their fleet and ready up their things and stuff. All right. Orange team, credit to them. They've managed to get themselves all nice set dressed here with the cataract jammer and stuff. They've adjusted their fleets accordingly. We're just waiting on Rom. There we go. Rom is back. They're purpling themselves up. Just need to grab that cataract ammo, dazzler, whatever I call it thing. The masquerade ammo. That's the word for it. Nice little inclusion of the mod there and some considerations made for this. Vastal has done a nice job organizing things as best as they can, because once again, it's a massive headache, and I'm not envious of Vastal at all having to go through and do the organization direction and stuff like that. I just get to do the showcasting, streaming, silly side of it. So yeah, shout out to you, buddy, in that. Appreciate you both for the tournament goodness and for this. Alrighty, Rom. Should take you 2 seconds to take off a piece of chaff and just add a custom bullet. Hopefully you're not going to be fleet editing. You've had all day to get your fleets together. If you knew you were going to play in this one, have your fleets cooked. For me, I'm just here meant to showcast and do Twitch silly stuff. Yeah. Plus, you can always rip one of the fleets from the shipyard channel. I believe the people posted some AvA loadouts there. Not sure if they got stickied or markered or pinned or what. Should be around somewhere or other. We'll find out where. Let's see. Hazel... recommending a bunch of stuff here. Yeah, okay, that all looks half decent. Just steal a couple of these ones and go from there. Should probably work itself out. Yeah, I'm just gonna rip these ones. Because what is Nebulous but a theft simulator, you know? You just grab all the other fleets from other people and go from there. There we are. Alright. Downloads, fleet folder, check, grab these things, cut, copy, paste them, find out where I put my Nebulous save files, something like that. Alright, where's that Neb saves? There we go. Throw in the import folder. I'm cleverly harvesting everyone's viewer-submitted fleets and stuff for my own usages. Alright, just wait on Scrubbus and Demison over there. Ready up and let's go. We've been waiting long enough in lobby for this thing. Had like a, 20-minute intermission between games? Damn. It takes us a hot minute to get these things ready. Alright, everyone's ready? Let's do this. Start before anyone else forgets. Who plays Neko at 4? We're in Connect mode for another minute or two. Just going to be doing that on the introductions and stuff as we get into these games here proper. If you have a bunch of tuna cans, you can bribe the Catboy to do funny, silly things. Anyways, hello everyone! AvA Fight Night Game 2 casted by the NekoboyBlue team. And we got here for the ANS side, Rom, Pocket Scientist, Just Fox, and Demison. Squaring up against them, Orange Trunks, ANS as well. Going to be Scrubbus, Dragonbender, and Infoman, and Elms 11s. All right. Blue team started their deployment off doing a little bit of distribution top and bottom side of the map there. Orange team as well. Just a couple of tracks thrown out on the board. We've seen some interesting stuff so far today. Saw one team come in with a whole bunch of Corvettes. There are 15 of them in total, squaring off against a total of 2 on the Orange team side. There was concerns that it was just going to be Capital Snooze Fiesta, but luckily we have managed to avoid the better part of that. so far has shown that scouting is still very important. Cap Fleet game is alive and well, no matter if you're playing AVO or AVA. Seeing plenty of tracks coming in here from the orange team. Looks like most of them are favoring a little bit towards this left side of the map. A couple of them now deployed towards the D side there. No distinction exactly yet if teams are going to stack up onto one of the lanes. Typically see people decide to go for the D point, C point, or E point, or try and take the middle of the map and then spread out from there. Honeycomb is what I often call a NASCAR map. Typically, people will take their deployment points of the A and B side naturals there, and then they're going to swing either to the right side from the Blues perspective or the left side. Same can be said for the orange team. C point is the neutral kind of, you're often fought over. Typically see a beam destroyer or a 100 mil bulker overwatching that. What'd you miss? You just missed Canuck mode. We have finished off our real Canadian hours there, making this Canadian content to fit Canada broadcasting laws. Yeah, totally. That's why. What did you miss? We had a great game 1. Looking forward to another game 2. All right, team 2 is locked in. Orange team here has got themselves a nice distribution of forces, capturing their natural point, and it looks like they're going pretty even across the deployments here. Even is good, but even is also bad. If your opponent decides to stack 2 lanes instead of all 3 of them, then you can get out-tunned there by about 50%. We'll see what they end up bringing. All right, let's go through these fleets fast. I see myself a battleship here. The Blinding Lights takes the field as an Aurora backpack and 450s on it. A lot of Auroras on the cheeks as well. Is this thing all Aurora? Hold on. Wow, that is a lot of green lasers. Okay, what do we got here? Blinding Lights certainly living up to the name. That thing is covered in Auroras. Has a bullseye jammer on the nose there, as one would expect. Does it even have chaff on this thing? No, it does not. Chaffless battleship. Okay, 450s and pure lasers on that thing. Cool stuff. All right, does it have a escort with it? Yes, it does. Does this thing have chaff launcher? Yes, it do. 8 pieces of chaff. Okay, hope you don't get missiled. Actually, at the same time, I mean, if you get missiled, like, who cares? You've got this many Auroras. Figure it out. You got 450s. Rom comes in with a Surrender CL. Expect to see one of these things today. All right, is that a... That's a Spotlight. Ooh, semi-active seeker on this thing. All right. Fox, Just Fox, I think returns with, yep, we saw this fleet in one of the previous games there. This is going to be the triple frigates. These are EO Seekered size 2s. I believe some of those are Hecby, the Tempest Block 2s. So a bunch of EO on that. Hopefully they've tuned their missiles a little bit better because they ended up missing the last game due to low Gs or something. Meeson comes out with a pair of sundials from the deck of their levy here. The Limavorius, I believe that's pronounced. All right. Pretty good stuff all around. Has a craft repair station. Interesting choice. It's already got one of those built in. What are you smoking with this thing? Bunch of bombers here getting ready on deck. I see some more sundials going through here. Post-flight on that. That's interesting. Probably just a error there. Anyways, Tanto's getting ready to hop off the deck as well as they're getting their stuff out here. That's going to be supported by, looks like a Sarissa and Mark 64 brick. And then going to see a little gun capper moving towards the E point. Okay, only a pair of corvettes here, one of which will stay with battleships. That's a very narrow team comp. Versus this on the orange team side. Okay, we got ourselves a gun and point of it. Yeah, just a little gun frigate here. Okay, with parallax. That's a blast in the past. This thing deployed alone. See another one towards the top of the map. You see a gun vet here moving towards the B point side. Another gun vet going towards E point. Third gun vet goes towards D point. Capper on all of them. You'll see a supportive one headed towards C side and a... Is that... Hang on, was that gun or torpedo? That's gun. Potential torpedo corvette or hybrids. No, is torpedoes has a bullseye on this thing. Okay, interesting designation abilities there. Probably command. Another one going towards D point side. Third one going towards D... Or second towards D point and then naked capper onto the C point proper there. All right, that is going to be then supported by Dragon Bender coming in with... Ooh, beams are on the board. That is hello. All right, Dragon Bender brings out the Death Star. That is going to be 6 beamstones taking us into game 2 here. That is going to kill anything that gets in direct line of fire within 6 kilometers of it. Just going through these now, probably going to be mostly duplicates. They do have a secondary gun on them, a Mark 61 on the belly there, provide a little bit of additional support against something on your flanks. Kind of nice. Elms takes the board here with a expensive backpack on their ship here. There's going to be a bunch of those. Yeah, decoy and boosted self-screening jammer. That will punch right through point defense. Bunch of Auroras and 450s on that Axford. It is supported by a singular sort of escorting, okay, SDMs, Prowler drive on this thing to keep itself low profile. Interrupt jammer with cooled amplifiers. They really don't want command missiles to get through. Scrubbus comes in with the dual levy fleet. You're going to see the Skew Steed and the End Stern here. Both of these things going to probably be... Oh, nope, never mind. They have a whole bunch of bombers on these. I thought they were going to be like pure Tanto maxing. No, just mass bombers with a... Looks like only 8 fighters in total. Okay, that's a very narrow number of interceptors. Still, it should be enough to trim like some of the fighter craft from Demisen. Carrier on carrier gameplay coming out. All right, E point cap initially going towards orange team, C point as well, and D point completely left here. That said, blue team decided they did not want that point, so they don't really care about that. Consolidating their forces, trying to push up to the middle, make use of their assets here. Just Fox will be supporting the battleship, the blinding lights up top there. Rom going for the sneaky plays, moving the surrender CL underneath the map. What does this thing have? Just a whole bunch of these hybrids. Probably 36 of them in total, if I had to guess right. Yeah. That is... Hang on a sec. How do you have... You don't have a full complement on this thing? You don't. Okay. Not a full complement, but pretty close to it. So, had to make some budgetary allocations there, I guess. All right. Bombers are airborne. What do these bombers have in them? Demon Flight is airborne. CMD Hodge and then CMD Hodge. What is the difference between these two torpedoes? I honestly couldn't tell you. I guess some mixed salvo tech there. Probably one of them is faster. They've got a mixed complement on each bomber, right? Yeah, that's how you're doing it. So probably going to be fire off one of them first, and then the other one follows up, gets you simultaneous time on targets or something. All right, first kill of the game as Dumisen loses their Corvette here on the E point side. Looks like Gunslinger Flight had something to say about that. They torpedoed the shit out of that bet. This thing is completely missing the front side of it as it's bleeding atmosphere and space oil there on that point. Claw fighters are going to be trying to get their claws into Gunslinger here. They're going to eat a little RPF for their trouble flying close over there. Scrub is just constantly launching pairs of bombers here. Has not consolidated anything into larger groups yet. Just starting to go for whatever they can. Rom is under the map right now. They get a strike off here. The Hyper Knight is going to lose its drive and its antenna immediately, crippling the effectiveness. Does still maintain the reactor there. Trying to recover itself, but that second blow is going to be brutal. This thing loses radar ability as well. Effectively mission killed, but still could get the Whiplash drive back up online if it is not followed up on. Rom has been discovered below the map with something, but they don't quite know what yet. Claw Flight is engaging against Cyclone 4-on-4. Cyclone is coil gun. Claw is 20 mil. Coil gun's going to quickly wipe that out. That is, yep, that's what coil gun does. Just instantly going to pop a shot and take out one of those fighters with a singular one tap. That is going to be some of these guys cleaned up there. Cyclone Flight is narrow, but still they're getting it done with that sand shot. Only 8 fighters on the board, though, so if those things get picked off by some unfortunate SDMs, that will really impair the ability to intercept stuff. Scrub is sending a singular one of these fighters around here, trying to break them off and just have them go to the sundial. Whistler Flight is on standby nearby to try and pick off that fighter craft if it jumps on target. C point cap goes through, D point cap goes through, and the E point as well. Orange team takes a 4-1 lead against the blue team. I keep trying to say A and S here. I'm just so used to it being AVO, but hey, here's what you get when you end up in these mirror matchups. All right. What is the blue team going to do about this? Just Fox is currently sitting on the point here. They're moving themselves around, trying to find anywhere to go. These are each 1,000 point assets, and they only appear to have a singular rapid damage control team. And a DC Central? That's a little questionable. That is one really fast rapid team, though. I'll give them credit. All right. Normally see a small locker in place there, because it is good to buff your damage control. Don't get me wrong, but coil gun, I think, is going to sweep up that sundial there. I don't see it on the board anymore there. Yes, that's going to be a kill. They will lose a Tanto for it, but still killing off one of those sundials, very effective, denies the enemy some scouting information. Is that Yes God? I don't know if this is the Yes God or not. This is called the Gut. Apparently, tech was declared below the board somewhere. Missiles fired off there. Interesting. Scrubbus attempted to go against something here. We'll see what they get. Torpedoes launched on target. There's going to be some missiles off here. Are they trying to heck-pee this thing? I think they just tried to heck-pee it. All right, Scrubbus and Rom, experienced players. Both of them going to be deflecting each other's aggression here. Claymore Bomber tried it. Just at the bottom of the map, go see this Surrender CL trying to make its way down along here. Going to most likely see the carriers reposition themselves. Scrubbus does not want to get found out by Rom on that attack angle. For now, though, they feel pretty confident. See them just kind of trying to juke around here. Probably going to keep committing this thing on target, make them think that it's more fierce than it actually is, or just keep a lock on. Dragoon Flight is here in the backfield, grouping up 4 bombers, going to probably be going after that Surrender CL 3,000 point asset. All right, Breacher Flight here looks like going to get found out. Cyclone Flight jumped on them, committed with their coil guns, and was doing pretty well. Torpedo Strike at the last second here. Going to see if these go straight and true or not. Looks like no, because they've been... Right. The bomber has been shot down, and they lost track of the target, so those torpedoes will go swinging and a miss there. Narrow miss there. Probably need a change of pants if you're on the bridge of that ship and saw that incoming towards you, but otherwise doing okay. Cyclone Flight, though, is taking some Sarissa fire here. Just needs one shot to get lucky from this thing. Sarissa on the top and bottom provides some area control here. Rocket Flight as well going to be trying to get here forwards. They've got 20 mil and 35 mil slug rounds. Very effective at those bomber killing if they can get in range. Still also kind of effective against some of these like corvettes and stuff if they get close enough and are able to approach from the non-defendered side. We'll see how it ends up going. Buzzler and Whistler are going to engage into each other. Whistler should clean up Buzzsaw pretty fast here. 20 mil going to dance a little bit around here, but eventually going to find its way into one bomber and then two. There you go. Fighters engage into the minimum distance. That's it. They're a little close to Dragon Bender right now. Have to watch out for those secondary guns if they decide to kick on those Mark 61s. These things can get chipped away at pretty fast with that sheer volume of fire. Missiles out from below, seeing more of these missiles going off. You're trying to HECP bombers. I mean, okay, I guess you don't want to get torpedoed. Scrubbus, yeah, just be like, ROM. Certified bruh moment there, if I had to guess. All right, checkmate flight has been around here. Yep. Scrubbus deciding that ROM does not get to exist anymore here, coming in with a total of 8 torpedoes on target. Probably more than this thing can field. Seeing them now attempting to fire missiles here, forcing them to evade or otherwise break their locks. Torps are out on target. Will they go evasive? These are not AG frag. This is HECP. They don't care. They're just going to swing and miss on that. Torps out in the waters on target. Surrender CL probably on borrowed time. Not honestly the greatest hits, but still enough to take the top side off of this thing. Lose a track correlator and 2 of the VLS slots. For the sheer number of torpedoes there, I expected significantly more effect on target. Pretty good deflection in total there. Another HECP tried, but fails on that one. Do Aorta next. It's good for AVA. Noted. We'll keep that in mind. Thank you, Dragon Bender. Or not Dragon Bender. Jar. Wait, hang on. Oh my. Lost Leviathan. Holy crap, I cannot read. Wow. Just trying to look at all the names in chat and stuff there. Just completely dropping the ball on that one. Anyways, moving on. Okay, Rocket Flight is airborne around here. Chessboard, Sundial is keeping tabs on this side of the map. What is advancing here? Only a 250 and Sarissa Brick is over here right now. That's going to be seen off by this Axford. Axford gets lock onto target, is now starting to rip some 450 rounds downrange. Frigate needs to get out of here. It can present a thin target profile and be evasive, but, well, otherwise, you're going to find out what happens when you put an asset like this in 450 range. It is narrowly dodging those shots, trying to be evasive. Let's see if one finds purchase. Nope. Just barely missing. Does Elms have gun plotting centers? This feels inaccurate. Citadel CIC Analysis Annex. Reinforced front on this thing. No gun plotting center. That is going to affect the accuracy here. That one will take a hit there. DB oops is declared. Okay, size 2 is going to find a target here and annihilate it there. Scrubbus probably was trying to call out to the team, chirping Rom in all chat there. Just pay off. Hello! Oh my god, the beams! The beams! I told you the Death Star was going to become operational. Yeah, that thing is suffering right now. They quickly switch onto the escort there. Just going to atomize that thing. My god, it's gone. Dragon Bender is holding Battle Short, needs to switch back onto the proper target. There we go. That's the beams. The blinding light is getting itself blinded. Look at the internals on this thing as it's cooked by like 6 beams. Beam array, let's go. Yep, 6 of those things gonna get on target. Immediate retaliation declared as these torpedo bombers trying to do something here. That's a lot of point defense. That's 6 beamstones in formation, holding on the trigger, battle shorting everything they got. Honestly, just trading 1-to-1 with a battleship here is worth it. This thing is going down and is not going to say a single word for the next, like, 5 seconds or so as it atomizes itself. Reactor overload, 4 crits. This thing is suffering. Double Citadel in the nose. We'll keep it alive for a while, but yeah. Dragon Bender decides holding Battle Short is totally worth it. Commits onto target. More flak going out here. Are they just killing these torpedoes with sheer volume of fire from flak? I think that they are. Yeah, they are. That's like 300 effective hit points that they just say nuh-uh to with the sheer number of rebounds that these destroyers are fielding. The 6 beam array is going to make soup out of this thing over here. The blinding lights has just been put to the side. There's the next cycle fire just as more of this thing goes down. Constant crits on this thing. Fuel line fire and reactor overload. Double whammy. 5 critical events on that reinforced drive. Missiles out here trying to do something, but ROM does have CMD lock, so that might work. We'll see. Oh, no, these things are not going to stage. Instead, get picked off by 20 mil here from Amphiman. All right. Rocket Flight going to find something back here. Looks like they're trying to engage these bombers next to the carriers. Carriers have basically nothing on them. Are there any fighters airborne? Griffin Flight is nearby and needs to task onto target and take out this thing before it kills off all of these bombers. This thing is kitted out for anti-bomber. It's got those 20 mil and 35 mil slug pods, which are effective against target here. We see them already constantly splashing. Singular fighter gets into position. All right, decap does go off, but I think that the battleship is going to go off as well. 30 seconds to fix these crits. Chief, I'm just saying it now. I don't think you're going to fix that. Beam destroyers will cycle fire as well. Here comes the missiles. We're going to see if these semi-active... Ooh, yep. Okay, semi-active not even needed. That's the hell dump here as we see ROM finally finds their targets here. Scrub is located in the backfield, does not have enough point defense or other assets to use against this. Griffin Flight tries to intercept onto any of these targets. They need to take these things out before they hit this ship. One of them goes swing and a miss. Another one is going to find purchase. Most of those actually going to go wide. I think track quality was the error there. The end stern suffering heavily, loses a bunch of its internal hanger ability, and most importantly, the large pads that is having the throughput for the bombers on this this carrier here. Other one is doing A-okay for the moment, but these missiles might say otherwise. There goes the battleship. Pocket Scientist is going to tap out, knowing they have been eliminated from the game. The Skew Steed gets gutted, loses both of its large pads. This is what you get for greeting point defense and going full build. No! Singular large pad is left to field bombers from this build here. So, despite their attempts at torpedoing the target, gonna see Rom and Scrubbus kind of mutually trading here. Same time, I think that Rom got the better part of that exchange. Scrubbus was very much the air control player, or at least trying to be on the orange team side here. Carrier for Demisen is still alive and active in the backfield. Now they have free liberty to just kind of go around the map as they please, knowing that the effectiveness has been crippled for the orange team's carrier there. Going to see Just Fox advancing onto the B point here. They have missiles and should be getting some stuff done in a second, I believe, right? Yeah, still got a VLS-2. They should see these on target. Might declare a strike on them once they feel confident they can get their missiles through. All right. Orange team looking towards a 4-cap situation at this point. B point is getting secured. E point has been capped. D point was capped. Going to see Amphiman probably step onto the point here momentarily now that that reactor bloom has gone off. Dragon Benders rotate themselves around the map. They are advancing towards, I believe the enemy carrier has been spotted. Dragon Bender just going to hit the flank thrusters and probably beeline right towards that thing, doing whatever they can to shoot down incoming fighter craft. Frigates are depositing some missiles out here now, but this is probably going to be a mistake. Yeah, unfortunately, take the wrong track angle to engage onto. These are just direct, so they will not arc around the rock here. Instead, I think they saw target priority, decided, yeah, I'll try to shoot these. Said these are just going to head right into the rock there. Beam is out on target. Going to see them pick off one of the fighter craft here. This is the threat when you have so many beams on the board and the Dragonfly drives to maneuver these things. Oh, just regular, actually. Had to go for a little greed on this thing. 2 focused particle accelerators completely skipping on the radar on this thing, deciding that some of them need radar, other ones don't. I mean, honestly, if you got a death ball like this, might as well just use it. More missiles out on target. Are these just going after the fighters? Oh, those are size 1s. Never mind. All right, that's fine. I thought those were the size 2s. Both teams brutally hitting each other there. Scrubbus is combat... I'd say combat ineffective, but still does technically have the ability to launch and land off of one of their carriers. So, reinforced magazine does mean they have some torpedoes. Still, just like 3/4 of the decks there are going to be taken out. Also seeing some more of these missiles coming in. Sandshot will intercept some of them. One of them... Oh, never mind. That's going to be a full intercept there. Just going to show the value of having an alert patrol of fighters on your ships. More of those size 1s going to be trying to clean stuff up. The Dizzy from Amphiman going to be moving out to the point here, but size 2s are on target. 1-2 hits going to be quickly taking out the front side of this thing's effectiveness. Is still alive and kicking, though, despite the initial damage. Should be able to get itself combat operational once again. I believe the CIC is still up. Yep. I think they just must have lost, like, track on target or something. All right, E-Cap going through there. Not really much to defend it over here. B-Cap as well is going to be going... Wait, hang on a second. Oh, Just Fox actually giving ground here, trying to step backwards. Menace Flight is airborne with a collection of torpedoes, probably going to be trying to get on target. Do they see them or not? They are doing a weird approach angle here. There's the torpedo strike coming out. Yep, that's what it was. It was tech trying to see one of these things go slightly faster than the other, I believe it was, just a way to make them like stagger their fire. There's got to be some tech to that, like basically the same torpedo but different names. I wonder if that's like a way to make them sync up perfectly like that, because they were really in sync as they both dropped torpedo. The enemy secured zone. Might be it's just like on the approach path, they like fire one, then fire the second one. It's got like slightly different distances. I'll have to ask Scrubbus about this fleet in the post game. GG is declared from Rom there, as I believe Rom is largely out of the game. They're trying to move their way over here, but they're just getting torpedoed. Meeson has dropped out on the... Yeah, it looks like they got found out here in the backfield, electing to just throw it in the towel. I think it's Just Fox is the only remaining one. I think Blue Team electing to call it there. Cap situation looks bad for them. They've gotten a bunch of their assets cleaned up. Effectiveness was not found in the favored trades they wanted. That beam attack onto that battleship there. Battleship walked onto the point, and unfortunately, this is why you can't walk these capitals out here without scouting. You have an escort ship. You have to send this thing forward. Let it be the thing that gets the six beam destroyer package delivered onto it, not your main battleship. Dragon Men are free to advance. It is just Fox currently right now. Amphiman trying to do some stuff with the Dizzy over here. It is largely ineffective as there's just these Mark 62s on the bellies of these frigates, I believe, just chipping away at them. More of these missiles coming out here from, I think that was the backpack of, who was that sending these off? It was Elms over here. He's going to find their way into the carrier. Carrier has already ejected, though. These are CMD EO Hecti. Yeah, these would go through any way you do it with this. backup antenna on the carrier. That's a... It's an interesting choice. No chaff on this thing. I feel I can't agree to that one. Anyways, Heck Bee Strike right into the back of this thing, showing what happens with that. Look at the damage control board. Just guts the pads, takes out all those internals. Yeah, that's Heck Bee down the length of the ship. Oh, that is brutal. Yep, that's what missiles will do to you. Even if the defenders were active, I don't think they would make a difference there. That is a really good EO Heck Bee Strike. All right, Just Fox is trying to do some things here, trying to avenge their team. That said, they are trying to fire off these missiles into Dragonbender, who has a lot of flak with all these rebounds. I think this is going to get cleaned up. Yeah, Size 2s are very effective at killing off these missiles. Beams out for good measure. That's going to be 3 beams onto 1 frigate. Instantly going to see this thing atomized. Whop, goodbye, sweet prince. Should see the second one go through here. Fully armed is going to be getting on. Is this, yes, this is the fleet. It is the names. Yes. Now witness the firepower of a fully armed and operational battle station. Whew, goes the beams for them. Going to find the Grom key. Only thing left is the Strogi over here. Should see this thing retast in a second. Beams are firing on targets in a moment. Should see them rotate over. They got their shot. GG declared as this should be the final rounds. Come on, Dragonbender, rotate your targets, eliminate. He's right in front of you, shoot him. The side beam is gonna get it, and we'll see if these other ones lock on or not. Come on, you see the target, cook away at him. Strogi is getting damage dealt into a nothing zone there. Should get structure broken as this just holds down battle short. There's the final nail in the coffin. GG is declared. Kill! All right. Blue team came in with a couple Gambit fleets there, trying to go with the missile frigs and the Surrender CL Gambit underneath the map. Orange team coming with its own Gambit of the 6 beam destroyers there. Good stuff all around. Interesting plays either way. All right, actually some missiles found their way into targets here. Saw a couple of these things actually find stuff there. Dragonbender would be like, Jesus Christ, did not expect that to work. Yeah, beams are scary in AVA. Pocket Scientist, unfortunately, did not get to do much that game. They walked under the point, and unfortunately, that was the point that the 6 beams were looking right at. Rom able to get a kind of a neutral trade there with Scrubbus. What's that Torp Tech? I want to steal it. The dual sync launch thing. Yeah, totally not just gonna steal the thing that I wanted to see. That commence primary ignition. FMN coming in with some good cap fleet action there, scouting and screening for their team. Claymores just do that. Interesting. I have no idea what's the difference between the torps. Do a second refire. I don't know why they have different torps. Anyways, beam destroyers are really good here as they go through that stuff. Elms did respectively with their expensive axe for getting one of those Heck Bee strikes into the carrier after it had already ejected though. But max speed, no terminal. Oh, those are just glorified rockets then with a guidance system. Cool. Scrubbus unfortunately got found out by Rom underneath the map, still pulling 16k with that. Huh. Neat. Drop me the fleet sometime. Anyways, we're going to go back to main menu then. Thank you, Everyon, for participating in that one. All right, let me just pop back onto the main Neb Discord then. There is Vastal. Alrighty, Vastal, game 2 is just wrapped up. If you want to start filtering people in for another one, I'll get the lobby up.
Yeah, again, everyone that was in that lobby, would you kindly go back to the sign-up sheet yet again and sign the seat to sign up? And we also need players
Aorta.
from...
What did they ask for? Which
I'm
map?
missing some folks, possibly.
Aorta, that was the one. I don't have Aorta loaded. I'm a fool. Damn it. Vassal, I've been told that Aorta is apparently good for AVA. I'm just going to need to reload and add that map to my pool, okay? Come on, Liz. All right, anyways. 3 minutes of ads between game time. There we go. Gonna run an ad break now, folks. It'll be along shortly. Loading stock assets. It should freeze any second now at that like 90% point. I don't know why it does, but it just seems to have done this recently. New tech development, I guess, or something. Or maybe I just haven't updated in a while. We'll find out. I usually open Neb and then I forget about it in the background. And I'm like, oh, why do I hear Neb music? Oh, right, I've had this open for 30 minutes. Whoops. All right. This is typically why I disable my mod list, because it takes a while to load up. That, and also because then I just load it in the background because I know I've got mods on. Honeycomb, Ralas, rotate maps. I guess I didn't need the 5v5s because I don't have the large player count.
Okay, so we only have 3 signups. So we lost 5 people, just died in the blink of an eye. Crazy.
To be fair, I think I saw that many get annihilated last game, so checks out.
I think the AvA, not the AvA, the Nexus Eye match is still going on. For a while longer, that is. But if you were looking to play, please go to the sign-up sheet in the general text chat of this voice call and sign it up. We have 3 people in the queue right now. I'd like to get it to 8, and then we could start another lobby.
Just make sure the audio is not scuffed. Should be good. There we go. Secondary lobby. Otherwise, I end up hopping onto the main one. Honestly, it's fine to run the main one. Nice to get enough people turning out that we have 2 Fight Night lobbies. Okay, chat. I am kind of hungry, so I will be right back as we're running the last of this ad break.
Might even play Blue Moon.
Did I just hear us mashing this lobby together in a sickly abomination at Blue Moon?
You might have. I don't know. Would you like to play on Blue Moon?
Well, I'd like to know if I'm hosting a lobby or not. Are we just going all into game 1 then?
We might be, yeah.
All right.
'Cause we don't have enough sign-ups right now.
Deal already has Blue Moon on it, so that's problem solved.
I'm totally not eating between games because I can. Must load Barbie House. I have to look at the Barbie House map, don't I? Ooh. Okay, as long as I'm not needed to host right now. I can actually look that up. Hang on a second. Where is that on the community workshop? Okay, workshop. Barbie House is one of the newer maps, I think. It's literally a Barbie house. It's kind of awesome. Some username. Yeah, they made that one. All right. I'm gonna save that one. And, you know, as long as we're just going to do this one, I'll take off some of the mods I'm not going to use. Yeah, let's see. Which ones do I don't? I don't need Ralas. I don't need Salar. Winter Palace 5v5 as well. All right. Where is... To be alphabetical, right? Blue City. No, there it is. Barbie House. All right. Load that up. 18 mods. It's slightly faster load. All right. Anyways, here we go again. Injector mod list. Yeah. You know what creatures you can try here since there's no EO pikes? Oh no. Don't you dare put Squeebles out of your mod list. Different mod list, Markson. Silly.
Okay, hello. Let's have everyone reconnect from those voice calls. And we will get another game going. How did you guys find that Nix's Eye match?
Fun.
I
How do
believe
you found
it
my
worked.
ship's names?
I did not even attempt to translate those. I am sorry. Those were... Let me try to say them for you.
I think Vastal got the same Polish experience I did.
Wait, is that just criteria? Critar... Yeah.
Exit criteria?
Taria. No, it can't be criteria. Tari.
I have an idea.
They. Ja.
If it's...
Not that
Is it just a
It's
renamed
going
Task Force
fine.
Birch?
It looks
Yes,
like
it's
it.
it's task for bitch. Yes.
Bruv. Does.
You know?
Does.
You know what's incredibly sad? That's the test.
Oh, I don't know.
Where
You
is that
pronounce
lobby?
these. Go ahead, Kaya. Go on.
Can we get the debriefing ended, please, for the DLO ranked Neb server?
So
thing?
the
Thank you.
first one is Zaz Nach Czas.
Bless you.
How do you write it?
Shish. Yayam Yapko. Anyway, let's get everyone to sign up to the sign-up sheet real
There we
quick,
go.
and I'll get
Get this thing going.
total of who's playing. So again, go to the text channel, sign up the sign-up sheet. I want to make
Do
sure...
you need me to sign up for a third time?
Yes, a third time. Do it. Do it, Sinji.
We've done this every time we do Fight Night. When Vassal assigns teams, just fill out your name on the sheet. It'll organize things. That way we don't have to play like picky choosy and stuff.
I just want to make sure that, yeah, anyone that wants to play, I do not want to skip over them. Jeremy, do you want to play for once? Because if you want to play, you can play, hypothetically speaking.
I haven't had any content recently of Jeremy getting hit by missiles and stuff, so if we could please get her into the game.
I could arrange that.
Thank you.
Also,
That's what you get, Jeremy, for being a Texas Rangers fan. I'm a Blue Jays fan, and we still have beef. All right, we'll get people in before too long. Good old MCRN, My Chemical Romance Navy. I'm gonna keep saying that because people can't stop reading it that way. All right. So though, fight nights like this, they're a little bit hectic and a little bit scuffed sometimes, getting all the mods and like the organization and stuff working. But it's a fun time. It's worth it as far as I'm pretty sure everyone agrees. It's like, yeah, it might be a little difficult, like designing your submarine or getting like Rocket Knight all coordinated in the exact shape you want to deploy in, or going with AVA stuff. Like sometimes I have to tweak fleet, but it's good fun. Keeps things fresh, you know.
12 signups. So I'm going to ask. We're going to put it on Blue Moon. We're getting a bit weird with it. This is probably a horrendous idea.
Vastal, do you want to just bring back the Mark 82 while you're at it?
Yeah, might as well, yeah. Can I get Doki, Dual Front, Demisen, Lambu, Silver Pickaxe, Mackinac, Kiwi, Stable, Tasty Cookie, Nick the Nuker, Jeremy, and General Stop to connect to DLO ranked Neb and get into a team. And Jeremy, can you please swap the map to Blue Moon?
Bring you back AVA. Huh.
What's the password?
AVA, all lowercase.
It's weird being flashbanged by Polish.
And make sure you download that map. Blue Moon is a large map. And when I say large map, I mean it's a large map.
I believe it's like, what, 50 kilometers across or something?
How many cap points is it? 1 second. Where's Hunter?
I want to say it's
I'm gonna grab
6
Hunter
points.
real quick. Yeah, I'll be back in a moment, everyone. Don't panic.
All right. Blue Moon, one of the few 12-player maps in the game. Hunter made this, and we don't know why.
I'm not seeing the server.
It is a map that exists. You literally... Okay, it's
All right,
one of the
I think
maps
we can
where you
stop
literally don't have enough rail range to hit people. There's a big rock in the middle of it. There's a couple of smaller rocks kind of scattered around, but it's mostly empty space. It's the only 6v6. I swore there was another 6v6 map, but that might have just been people just like to run other ones without a player limit. So I've seen people do like a no player limit version of Canyon where they add like 6 or 7 people, and honestly, that actually feels pretty good. Like the game chugs a little bit doing it, but it's kind of fun. Yeah. Anyways, Blue Moon. It is a map once again where it's just really, really big. That's not to say like it's bad. It's just you have to.
Okay, everyone, we're going to be playing on 1,500 points. Vote option. Victory points 4.
Apologies, is this on main branch?
Yep, main
yes,
branch.
we are on the branch of main.
All right. Everyone loaded in, locked in, figured out all that stuff. Coordinate teams and things as needed.
What's the password?
All right.
AVA, all lowercase.
But yeah, Blue Moon is a map of all time. It was probably easy to design because like you just get a big rock in the middle and then add like massive size. But yeah, it's so weird seeing like ranges where it's like, yeah, you don't have rail range. No, they're outside of it.
Are you on main branch?
No, they're like twice as far away. It's insane.
Have you tried refreshing?
Probably hear sound of my chair
try
creaking from there.
refreshing, and if that doesn't work, try restarting your game.
All right.
Yep, we have. Let me call out the names again. It was Doki, Geofront, Demson, Lambu, Silver Pickaxe, Mackinac, Kiwi, Stable, Tasty Cookie, Nick the Nuker, Sheremy, and General Stop. Those are the 12 players that we can shove into this. If your name wasn't called out, I sentence you to death. Tasty Cookie, where are you?
I think they'd asked if this was on main. I'm guessing they're just switching over a branch.
Unforgivable. I sentence you to death.
Was having issues with the Dilo not showing up.
I think in terms of points, this is pretty balanced, yeah.
Oh dear. Oh no. Oh no, Hunter's here. Or is that Herman? I always get the two of them. I think Hellcringe is Hunter and Heaven Base is Herman. I can never remember which one is which. Alright. Jeremy can go team 2. I think we'll get the Soviet Union is in now. That's not PC though, so they're just spectating. Okay. Should see things before going. Oh, looks like Herman hopped out. Eason joins in. Tasty, I think, should be able to hop into this one. We'll figure out team balance and stuff from there. Vessel's in the call in the lobby, so that all works itself out. Yeah. Where is it? There we go. Tasty finally joined up. All right, let's get these players into the match.
All right, someone should probably take my spot and I need to restart my game again.
I see, okay. Someone's going to take your spot. The next on the list is Kayatan. You want to hop in on team? Whichever one. Someone has popped in that shouldn't be on the team. That is... Who's in a team that shouldn't be? Doki, Dealfront, Demison, Lambu,
I don't want to
Pickets.
point fingers, but the Mason.
No, Demison's supposed to be there.
Yeah?
Okay, I'm gonna go down the list. Doki, yep. Dealfront, yep. Lambu, yep. Hallow, yep. Mackinac.
Jeremy makes sense there.
Nick.
Always a little
Jeremy.
complicated with someone just sitting somewhere they don't know.
Lost Leviathan, you're not on the sign-up sheet.
There we go. Levy's tagged out. Okay, everybody into their respective teams, I think, right?
Let me take a look at the balance. Could I swap? Okay, but let me stress this. Before you all go into this match, this is a very big map. So, I do not recommend things like beam battleships, or very, very slow fleets.
Further iterating on that, your missiles will run out of fuel. You will be outside rail range. It is that big. Okay? Plan accordingly.
This is a 50-kilometer wide map.
Oh, I thought it was 60.
Outside of rail
It's big.
It's a big number.
Jesus Christ.
Outside of missile range, Jesus.
The neutral cap points are more than 25
Yeah,
kilometers
so-
away from spawn.
What?
Yep.
Bring
It's a
drives
Big
that are
Mac.
fast. It takes so a ship traveling 30 meters a second reaches the other side of the map in 45 minutes. It's a freaking big map.
Okay, so I've got a question. Why?
Yeah. Why? Because it's a 12v12. We need the
Period
numbers.
rules.
Right, we're gonna be here for an
I wanna
hour.
join in
We
on
asked
that.
Hunter why, and I think the response was,
This is worse than Canyon.
yeah, kind
It's
of.
perfect. We don't have the because it's either this or like six people don't get to play. You know, so this is what we're doing. Does anyone have any serious objections?
No, but I would
Yeah,
seriously would like to try and join in on this.
I kind of want to see where this is going, actually.
Blue Moon matches are always funny. That's all I can say.
Okay,
Define
so
fun.
balance wise, I think I'm going to ask that. Could I swap Hallow with Dual Front, please?
That looks pretty fair.
And yeah, play together. Use your brains, everyone. This is gonna be.
Oh, that's
the
asking a
test.
lot, Bastel. We are Nebulous players after all.
And good luck to all of you. Can Team 1 go to Bullseye, Team 2 to Buzzkill?
All right, I'm gonna hop into the caster's box, so I'll be back. All right. Anyways, you may have heard something there. Give me a second. Where is that source? Go. Yes, I would like to stream together. Thank you. Star is going to join me for this one. How that works. Yo. All right, getting everything set back up here. Star, how you doing? I just need to swap off push attack. There we go.
Alright, there we go. Push and talk is finally off.
Yep. Unfortunate forcing of that with the Neb channels, but still we understand why. Let me just get you loaded up here. Star had asked, hey, do you want to co-cast this? I thought, yeah, and hell yeah, and well, here we are. See if I can't get, hang on, I had to fix your Fugi. Give me a second. Should be able to put you over next to me somewhat. There we go. Size that appropriately. It's still scaled up to bar sizes. That should be fine. All right.
Should be fine.
Joined by the Star. Why doesn't Star have a fun Fugi? That's a good question, Star. Why haven't we drawn your art yet? Somebody art this man.
This is a good question.
Scale it down. I'll scale you just a little bit further. There we go. Perfect.
Alright, let's
I know, Star's a pretty fun
raise this
TV screen thing there. Yeah.
There it is. Right there. I should add that as a browser source and
Googalicious. Alright. Anyways, teams are almost ready to get themselves going here, so this will be fun. I'm glad that we can co-cast because I don't think I'd have anything to talk about for the first, 10 minutes of the match.
well, I guess I could also talk about what I did last match because that was kind of slightly insane.
They're saying that apparently they can't hear me on your side, so double check audio inputs. I know I'm notorious for forgetting to set the correct channel.
That's a bit awkward. Let's see if I can't fix that.
Might just be it wasn't capturing Discord or something like that.
I currently have it to capture all my desktop audio, which probably isn't smart, but it works.
It's good enough for now. I did desktop audio for a while before I finally did independent sources. Then by independent sources,
I did
breaking,
independent
so.
sources, but then I changed computers.
Yep.
So it's all gone.
Raw pipe desktop audio. Enjoy it. Accidentally click one wrong link and then it's like, hey, would you like to buy premium space on? It's like, no, I'm fine. I don't need a website. There you go.
But yeah, it looks like we're waiting for some people to edit their fleets, given that this is such a large map.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, this is custom specifics required for it deals.
Like, if you're not running Whiplash/Sundrive, like, you're basically cooked. It's so bad.
It's like, all right, I'm going to show up. I got a battleship with, like, 2 Raider drives. I'm like, I'm not getting into this fight, am I? Nope. It's a map you set up, like, your move command and then walk away for 10 minutes and come back with, like, salad or something, you know?
I mean, that kind of makes it chill, which I kind of like.
It is.
But also, it's also kind of like, you kind of have to sit there for 45 minutes.
Yeah. I feel like Canyon had a bit of that issue. Remember pre-rework Canyon, where the top and bottom points were, like, further out there until they tightened it up a little?
Back then, I was, like, playing once in a while, so, like, I actually never memorized Old Canyon. All I know is New Canyon.
Apparently they still don't hear me. That's interesting.
Wait, they don't?
Weird.
I see you. I see the source light up.
That's interesting.
Here, let me try adding it as a separate source then.
Okay, yeah.
Application audio capture. Discord. No.
That will be probably quieter. I had to really bump up their audio levels and stuff there. It's strange, though, if, like, you just got desktop audio, it should just be able to hear that. I mean, they can hear the in-game music, too, right?
I think so.
All right. Well, we can play with the audio levels on that, and I can tell you how to cheat to make them actually...
Okay, that's way too high.
Oh,
Let's go into the right for you. All right, there we go.
Why is it that your application audio actually works, and mine is always, like, scrunkly to get going? Pain.
I don't know if it works or not.
Well, apparently people are saying, there we go, yippee, so we'll take that.
That works. All right. And that.
So, anyways, hey, Star, you want to queue up for a match of Mechabellum before this thing starts up? I mean, probably by the time we finish up, you'll be ready.
If a certain frontline player was playing, they'd be playing Mordhau in the background of this.
Wait, that's Jeremy and Kiwi Burb. Damn it.
Last minute.
Yep. Why is it? Okay, maybe. The whole team's ready up. 3 seconds on the clock to go. That's when you remember to tweak your chaff counter, right?
It's because, like, you look at the time and you're like, oh no, there's 3 seconds left. Did I forget anything? Oh, I did.
Yep. It just doesn't go through your head until then. I'm going to be honest, AVA has messed me up because I'm so used to saying the ANS team, the OSP team, and it's like, no, this is blue ANS, this is orange ANS, it's different. Spawning fleets in. Hopefully nobody crashes, fingers crossed.
My water bottle's once again empty. Oh no.
Uh-oh. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Blue Moon, a map of all time. 7 points on this thing, if I'm counting correctly. ANS versus ANS is the fight night of choice. You want to read off a team here, Star, or how are we doing this?
There's a lot of people.
Yeah. All right, I'll do Team 1, introducing the blue ANS. It's going to be Cherami, Dual Front, Lambo, Doki, Kiwi Burb, and Mackinac.
And on Team 2, we have General Stomp. You gave me the hard one, didn't you?
You can just choose it. Do you want me to do it? I'll do it.
General Stomp, Hollow, Demizen, I think.
Sounds good
Stable,
to me.
we nicht. I don't know. I'm
just
not German.
Just call stable. Good enough.
Yep. And Nichtenuker and Kajitan 24. And I'm sorry if I butchered any of those because I probably did.
Yeah, don't worry. We butcher names all the time here. Anyways, we are on Blue Moon, which is a map of all time. You might not be able to see it due to the scaling, but this map is like 50 kilometers wide. It is big. The rock in the center is caltrop size, as I understand. So this is just caltrop after the global warming took hold of it. So you're going to see a whole lot of nothing for the first 10 minutes or so. But yeah, we'll see where it goes from there. 7 points on the map, so you'll have to cap them and do stuff, I guess. Kind of a star formation led from the top. Looking at it, like C point, top of the star. You get the other ones. I guess B point and A point kind of falls towards the blue and orange team side slightly.
I have played on this map before, a couple times. I will say rails are very good on this map because of their extended range.
Rails, mass drivers.
Even if they don't do too much damage, they still have the kind of range to basically apply pressure before they get into a 450 range. So that's very big. The other thing is that missiles are also likewise very strong.
Yep, we've seen missile strikes before be very effective, but also kind of struggle a bit due to the sheer range. They'll actually run out of fuel.
Mm-hmm. If you don't account for it, you will run out of fuel on this map. Most maps are 20 kilometers of range on missiles are enough, but not this one.
No.
Even carriers are effectively area control devices. You can't fight over the entire map anymore on this map.
A lot of the gameplay, Tasties... Oh, never mind. Chat being weird, never mind that. You've seen Desert Bus, now get ready for Nebulous Bus. Oh boy, yep. All right, let's see what we got on deployment side. I'm seeing is that a TLS on a Corvette? You never see that thing. Okay.
I see a Vauxhall, my favorite.
Yippee! What, you liking Vauxhalls? No, I never. Star, color me surprised.
Oh, it's a Vauxhall with a Sprinter blob
by
Doki. That's interesting.
Yeah, let me just... There.
That's
no, it's about the right
Stonewalls
sizing.
and Defenders.
Okay, let's take a look at these fleets then, shall we? The front fell off is, yeah, exactly that. It's a CL with gun size 2 backpack, breadsticks in that, and then a whole bunch of, yeah, just gun cappers? UR, gun, lock, point defense. Odd, but okay. Mac commenting correctly of like, hey, be right back, let's get a book. So Jeremy comes in with a... That's 5 rail destroyers, isn't it? Yep, that's 5 rail destroyers. They've got a pair of spotter corvettes, but it looks like with jammers and pinards. Ooh, hey, dual front, you'll like this fleet, Star. Why don't you tell me what we're looking at here?
The enemy is securing zone dagger.
Oh, look, it's a triple CL fleet, just like Birch.
Yeah.
My favorite.
Actually,
However,
this
it's
is
got Defenders.
There is no chaff on this fleet.
The enemy is securing zone eclipse.
Interesting. Oh, it's all Defenders. It's Defender maxed. What about the internals? What does this look like?
I think it's duplicates of the same one. Gun plotting center, honestly, on this map, don't blame them.
It's hard to justify, though, because 250 is already accurate enough.
Yeah. That'd be pretty good. Chat shit posting as everyone gets going there. Kiwi Burb comes in with a Axford full of missiles. Literally full of missiles. Like, this thing is all big mounts missile arrays. Bunch of conventionals, bunch of, looks like some hybrids, and double radio amplifier on this build. Okay, so that's a antenna buffing build. Cool. Bunch of 2 comms jammers. Got themselves a GM vet going with it.
I will say, for dual fronts CLs, I don't like the internal configuration, but mostly only because there's no reinforced modules in the nose.
Yeah.
And a reinforced magazine and a big backslot is a bit overkill for survivability.
Mm-hmm.
But it should work fine.
Yeah. We'll see how it gets in combat. Rest of the fleets, let's go through this. I might talk over you a little bit here just to get this. Actually, what am I kidding? There's no rush. We can go through all this in any amount of time.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Yeah, it's not like anything's going to happen.
Finally, a map designed for people like me who can take forever to get through fleets. Anyways, looks like GM vet pair escorting Lambo over here with a group of CLs. They got size 2 with decoy and SDMs, and then they got a interrupt jammer on that. Okay, so just honestly pretty standard like CL pair you see there. Not going for the hybrid missile style, instead going with the extra soft kill and other benefits. Mackinac looks like they're running dispersed CLs. Nope, never mind. Just icons blurring together. Another grouping of CLs there. Honestly, kind of makes sense people taking these ships because it goes fast on a map this large. Naganatas on the backpack of 1 and the other, and then just jammer corvettes to go with. All right, so yeah. I like seeing this a lot. The pairing of the CL with the Corvette escort there for like added support factor is pretty good stuff. Yeah. Let's take a look on the orange team. Anything jump out at you there? Hang on, Demise, what the heck is this? That is a... Okay. Corvette with a rebound, a Sarissa, a blanket, and a TLS.
The device.
It has a programming bus.
The device.
Why does it have a programming bus for torpedoes? Okay, how many of these are there? Okay, there's
I
a
think just one.
gun
The other
torp
ones are
capper going
Each
onto the
one
map.
is different.
Yeah, they're grouped together. I guess these are paired? Yeah, they're paired. Okay, so one's got bullseye in that. I guess these are command. That's, those are like 500 point sprinters. That's a lot for a torp sprinter even. Like, don't get me wrong, torp sprinter's good, but that's a lot. Huh.
I mean, I guess it has jamming and everything.
Yeah, soft kill sweet. It could go well. We'll see what happens when it runs into Doki over here, who's got their CL beelining towards B point. General Stop comes in with a 450 Axford, big missile backpack, Auroras on the side. Yeah, pretty standard for what we see today. Nice little hybrids on that. They've got themselves a...
I wonder if the hybrids have been modified for this map.
Might be. Bunch of conventionals and SGMs on their escort. They got that Cataract Dazzler that is unique to this mod pack, just the ANS EO Dazzler, basically. Hallow has a... there it is. Hallow's got a surrender CL. Perfect.
Oh, that thing from last game.
Yep.
I got hit by it, lived through it, and then tried to torp it and missed.
Oh, that's rough. Heaven sent, apparently, so that's a surrender CL at some point. Kiwi Bird with the bruh. Let's see, what did they find it? Did they just try a missile and ran out of fuel or something? Might have been.
Oh. Might have, given the range.
Hallow's also got a jammer box along with them. Alright, just pretty standard jam box there. Yeah, forget doing stuff.
ACAs, wait. Yep, there it is. ACAs.
Yep, cooled amplifiers make sense for a build like that. All right, who else we got? Kajitan got themselves a CL hiding behind a chunk of ice, apparently. STM2s in this. I cannot pronounce any of Kajitan's ships' names. I'm not...
Same.
Yeah. Rhythm Swoof. Rather not, thank you. Spyglass, VLS-3, Pinard, Sarissa. All right, so they got utility frigate. Themselves a torpedo corvette, which is now getting RPF'd by that triple CL on the C side of the map. So first kind of engagement there. Mason is breaking off from that engagement. Torpedo corvette, other side of the map. Got torped on B, gunvet G side, and gunvet E side. Okay, so honestly, not a bad cap fleet. Just it's a very dispersed cap fleet because I mean, look at the map. Torpedo out here at CMB.
On this map, if you don't get an early cap advantage, you are very not well off.
Yeah.
Because you cannot just simply rotate to another cap point.
Takes you so long to get anywhere. Okay, defenders...
Looks like torpedoes out.
Defenders will clean up the torpedoes before impact. So
wow, it was close.
Yeah. Danger close, but still 20 mil at that range generally tends to hit. Last chips, let me go through these quick.
Yep, that return fire is going to shred.
Yeah. COs get to this point, they will clean up shop here before too long, and then I don't think the Hallow has the...
Oh.
Maybe they do, actually. I mean...
Hallow has the range to engage this and
yeah.
The tracks.
I'm just wondering if they're in bullseye range yet or not. Yes, they are at the 7.5. There's no jamming or...
Hallow's programming salvo, I think. There's an order for it, at least.
All right. Before I forget, last fleets, let's go through this. Nick the Nuker, they got... I'm just going to call this... That's basically Oak. I'm just going to call it that. Task Force Oak, ANS Edition, cool, or AVA Edition. Stabble has got themselves a Brig Blob. Yep, this is throwback. Brig Blob with a singular Corvette far ahead of it as a scout. Cool. Let's take a look around the map.
S3H from Hallow.
S3H out. All right, we'll take a look at the seaside and then try and look at the other stuff around the map.
Command Hodge, Command Hodge, and Command Hodge.
I think these are just going to gut these CLs.
Oh, for sure. Oh,
okay,
but decide on, they're not going to get the Heck P hits that they're looking, they want.
Well, normally a bad move there actually saves that ship pretty well. Like, yeah, okay, it's losing a lot, but it's still got its guns, it's active.
That's
thank you for
recoverable.
the follow, Apollyon, I think it is. Make sure you follow Star as well, my co-host. All right, bunch of missiles fired off from way far in the back. General Stop trying to fire off missiles towards the seaside, but I don't know if those are going to have fuel. Huh.
That's
let's take a look at the other points.
That's a whole... What? That's... How many?
So...
That they've already traveled 15 kilometers from their launching point.
Maybe they'll have it, maybe they won't. Anyways, that'll take another year to finish, but looks like Doki's going to clean up top of the map near B side. Corvettes there are not going to be able to do anything. Mackinac is going to engage on the A point down here, and is going to find a couple of these Corvettes as well. Andy Star Galaxies, thanks for the follow. Once again, remember to follow Star as well. Love my co-host over here. Gotta get them some of that good old viewership when they do Nebulous nonsense.
Thank you.
Ooh, big missile dump on the A point area, seeing a bunch of size 2s and some lazily snaking size 3s coming out here. Right, it takes you 5 to 10 business days to actually reach your target, but...
So remember that salvo from way earlier?
Yeah, that one that was towards 8 point. Is it anywhere close yet? Oh, right, it's not.
It completely missed.
Excellent! I thought that they might have been... These are crews. I thought they might have been changed directions. Anyways. Right, CCAP is denied. More of those missiles going towards the Task Force Merchant.
Oh, that is one heck of a S2 dump back down at Alpha.
Yeah. Like I mentioned before, mixed salvo there, size 3s and size 2s. Mackinac, I think, is going to deflect that salvo pretty well. They got a combination of flak and 20 mil.
Oh, those are just... They're not even... I see. Interesting. They have S2s and S2Hs.
Alright. I think it was an S3H, wasn't it? Off the backpack of the Axford?
There should also have been some, yeah.
See the strike about to hit. Yeah, so it looks like in terms of actual effectiveness there... I can't tell which teams is which. Looks like Orange Team is going to lose out on the A point there. Demison's going to lose 2 of their Corvettes, which really sucks because those like 1,000 points down the drain. That's a cheap CL's worth of points there.
Ouch.
Right.
Overall, it looks like I almost said AN, but they're both AN.
Yeah.
It looks like Blue is taking the lead here on the cap points, just barely.
I think that you're right. In terms of the rock here, we're going to see A point and B point center there is going to be secured by the Blue team. Orange team has set themselves up for some potential aggression. Ketchtan is holding down the G side, but is going to get pushed by Lambo eventually. Lambo's trying to move their way towards the middle of the map. So it's a very large map, but I think at some points it's also a very small map with a lot of the action going to center around like getting your ships to the center rock, deciding which side of it you want to push, and then controlling a hemisphere.
What's interesting is that because the distance is involved, it's it kind of feels almost like you're not really fighting a battle, but you're fighting more of like a small war in terms of you have so many different fights going on at the same time.
It's definitely less of like this is the single engage and much more of the like, okay, here's like a group of engagements that happen, some skirmishes, some disengages, and then it's like, okay, we've won this fight. How do we consolidate our forces and go for the next one?
Which leaves some very difficult decision making, like whether you group your forces and try to split after defeating one, whether you have the time to do that or not.
Yep.
Or
I think a lot of it is dictated by like the strategic kind of like planning phase, where it's like, okay, before we do this, what's our plan for a rollout? Because in a normal game of Neb, you can kind of get away with like your cap player sends like some Corvettes or some shuttles forwards. They kind of fight for a point in skirmish, then the front line commits and draws a line in the sand. It's like, all right, this is where the game kind of revolves around, like this lane or two. Yeah. Words rhyme. All right, we got it. Wait, are you on the stream? Get out of here. Yeah, we don't want you on stream. No stream sniping. Size 3 hybrid gonna miss there. Yep, so some EO Wake's gonna miss. They predicted that Doki was gonna move further forward than they did on the B side. So, yeah.
Listening in still can give you
no sound
information that you're not supposed to have.
Bonk. Stop doing that. We have a rule against this. Okay, mute the stream in the background. We appreciate your viewership, but, you know, come on, keep it civil. Keep it fair. We're commentating on the game you're playing. Don't be like that. Anyways, Stabble gonna commit here into the bottom of the map on the 8-point side. So we'll see what happens when a pair of Voxels squares off against a Frig Blob. Frig Blob seems to be... well, they're taking a loss immediately here. That said, they are in gun range, but they're shooting RPF at a broadside Voxel. Not cheating. I will ban you. Stop that. Yes. We have rules against this. Don't be like that. Anyways, Mackinac presenting broadside with the CLs. I feel like that's a mistake against the Frig Blob here. But, anyways. Taking a look around the map at the top side there. Once again, Demison. I like their detachment idea with these, like, pair of Corvettes and stuff. But their execution for this is just, I don't think it's going through so well now.
Unfortunately, they're facing a massive amount of RPF. They don't have anything against to deal with CLs.
Yeah.
Really.
Now, as we know, the CL is an incredibly underpowered tool and should obviously be buffed, right, Star?
True. Last game, they only got like 30k or 40k across the plate.
Yeah, only. Obviously, Voxels should be balanced around dealing 50k damage per round and that, and also being able to traverse anywhere. Really, let's just take their speed up to like 60 meters a second. We'll get them 450s as well, maybe some rails. Actually, yeah, that's it. We'll get the Voxel the Mark 82. That'll fix it.
No. What we do is we give them 450s that have 450 HERPF only for them.
Ah, right, of course. How could I forget? And let's also like replace Thruster 17 with a 600mm spinal, just that way it can fire a combination of rail Hesh rounds. Yeah.
That'd be too boring. You gotta give it an 8 km beam.
Ah, right. Good point there. Yeah, actually, why 8 kilometers? Let's go for like 27.
What is this? What's it called?
Burning Lance? Yeah. Anyways, I'm glad I have a co-caster here because this game is like, it's not to say like it's dragging on. It's just like one of those kind of like slower paced games. It's like you have these skirmishes. You can largely tell who's going to win each skirmish with what they bring to the board. Mackinac was doing the best they can to pull out a point, but they're...
At Point Charlie, dual front just took another hybrid hit. Ouch.
Yep, been watching those Voxels just slowly get picked away at here. They're presenting broadside, which was good to absorb those missile hits, until now Nick the Nuker has finally, with their Axfords, gotten into range. These things came with a whiplash drive, and they've taken this long to actually get in the fight. Alright. Down on 8-point side, Mackinac, I think, is going to get knocked out here. One of their Voxels is still alive, but it's suffered some decent damage earlier on. That Frig Blob is relentless with the support of the Axford behind it. Broadside is like not great to open with to begin with, and like they definitely could have picked up some more of these frigates earlier on, but yeah, they just kind of got caught in the wrong engage there and were punished for it. 8-point side, Doki is cleaned up, or is that 8-point or B-point? It's actually tell. Where's the ships? B-point, top of the rock there. Doki's cleaned up and now has the ability to reposition as they please. Once again, missiles trying to find their way onto target, but it takes so long to travel that they're just not finding it.
Oh, sorry, I've been missing the redeems. Unfortunately, I don't have a water bottle, so I can't hydrate right now.
Okay, well, Star, I'm just pointing out, with the pacing of this game, you could probably go get yourself a water bottle and come back before anything too significant happens.
You're right. I'll be back. I'll be right back.
All right, 450. Yeah, Axfords win fights against Voxels on the seaside, to the surprise of basically no one. 250 into the nose of these is not going to do much. Kiwi Burb is getting in range, though, with these missiles and double interrupt jammers. It was a floodlight spotlight combo. What the heck missiles do you have in this thing, Kiwi? Cruel Thesis. Interesting. Yeah, see, as Jam Centrals, we see just the overlap of the balls, I guess, just barely avoiding each other here. Okay, Illumination's on target. Spotlight and Floodlight. Okay, I guess you can layer these to spot through the jamming. That breaks jammers, clearly fired on tracks. Okay. Huh. Alright. Error on spawn message has no asset ID. Okay, that's probably the error message they were talking about with the EO Dazzler thingy. Yeah, it occasionally happens to clear that. Anyways, hybrids go out. A little bit of desync there, but these are going to go straight towards these Axfords. That is going to just, I think, go short.
Alright, water acquired.
Excellent.
What did I miss?
Size 3 strike attempted over here on Seaside, but Heck-Bees so far have been deflected. Oop, that one's gonna eat it.
Oop. And an S2 is now incoming.
Yeah. Bunch more of these missiles as the super missile truck is gonna unload here. Kind of an interesting... Okay, that's gonna do a little bit there. Most of that just punched in the nose. Belly gun and large locker taken out on one of the Axfords, other one is untouched. They're trying. Kiwi Burb has a interesting missile build here, but so far,
it's a Scaleford.
Yeah, it's just trying to go for like this size 2, size 3 combo, and it's just kind of not. Like a couple of them will stage early because they're like jammed out, or other ones like the CMD ones are actually going to do some work. I think I'm kind of surprised by the build, I'll be honest, because it's got a whole bunch of like wacky seeker combos. Like it has the Illuminators, it's got the command types, the double radio. I'd expect them to just go pure command with that like double radio investment, but I guess they're trying to mix and match their combos as best they can.
Oh, that missile went right there to point defense. Landed it.
One of the Axfords there from the Nick the Nuker has taken like a little bit of damage, but it can recover itself.
Not enough to be significant at all.
No. Belly gun gets knocked, but still it's got the 2 topside turrets that is doing good work. Voxels are getting seen off the C point. Take a look at the points tally. Orange team is going to claim the A point down below. There's a reactor bloom there from something or other. Axfords are going to win fight against Voxel. Mackinac is all but cleaned up for their one Voxel. The other one is alive but running. Looks like Lambo might be joining the fight over there with one of their CLs. Trying to pick away at that for Glob.
Looks like Lambo is maybe pushing away Orange on Golf, but they're holding pretty well right now.
Yeah. It's going to be CL and Corvette versus CL and Corvette.
They're pretty evenly matched, but I think
let's check builds.
I think that
here.
Corvette's about to get knocked out by that CL.
Yeah. I want to say that Kazakhstan has a bit more of a reinforced snoot, the aux steering CIC and the locker versus the one from, who is that? Lambo over here. They went a little bit cheaper on that one, so I think that the beef will matter a little bit with these Bow-on engagements. Trying to shoot HE rounds at a Corvette at this distance, that's a little questionable, Chief. Just RPF that thing.
HE RPF does more damage to begin with, so I'm not too sure why Lambo is firing HE.
They might think they've trimmed it out somewhat. Hard to say. Potentially they were changing targets. All right. Vauxhall's committing.
Moving.
That's going to be a fight that'll go down over a while. Jeremy is on top of the map right now. Finally get some rails out. Nick the Nuke are going to be eating some rail fire here. That's 5 rail destroyers and no cover. That might be significant.
Oh, that's not going to be fun. Oh, that's so many fires.
Yep.
That's really 6
fire count,
fires.
6 there, 12 damage components, and they are not going to stop holding down the trigger until this thing dies, I think. There is basically no cover on this map in this area. Like, you can maybe hide behind a ice block, but that's going to be rough to deal with. Another one of these Hecties
Once it builds up, I wonder if it's even possible to recover in a timely manner, just because of all the work speed debuffs.
That's a good question. Like, critical mass rails, they kind of scale exponentially as they add more and more fire, so it can then spread throughout the ship and impair your damage control efforts. Already seeing this thing, 13 fire count, 25 damage components on it, just as everything starts cooking off and getting these work speed debuffs from atmosphere leaks. Yeah, rail fleets like this, when they get on target, are, like, they won't kill the thing, but they'll make it wish it was dead. They're wisely trying to reposition behind a rock now to maybe
I don't think it's going to work. Oh, no, they might break line of sight, just barely.
I think that maybe they... See if this ends up being mastered or not.
They do. But they just... Oh, no, the rails
instantly
just
gonna lock
the
onto the
other
other one. That's awkward.
Oh.
Now the missiles to follow up with as
and now there's
everything's been impaired.
instead of one messed up ship, there's 2 now.
Yep.
It's hard to say what was worse. Having one really messed up one, or both your ships messed up like this.
Other one now has to quickly burn for cover. It's further out of position, and I think drifting the wrong direction now as it's starting to get all those rails into them. They really need to present broadside to this and just hope that the rails hit less components, because they were partially a bow on. Ooh, okay, one of those accidents is going to take another missile hit there as they just add up more damage over time. The Vauxhall is actually deciding to get a little bit of the action now, despite the damage that they had taken earlier on that seafront. They are starting to do a little bit now. Crippled ships like this are juicy targets for Vauxhalls to opportunity strike.
Oh, they can't. I don't think they can. Yeah, the heavily railed components cannot be easily repaired or maybe even restored.
You'd have to go through all of the various debuffs and stuff first to then get around to that, or have multiple teams on them. You can only handle so many repairs at once. So yeah, that's a really good way of crippling a fleet over here. C Point was initially really favored for Orange Team, but now with the rails committing, the missiles and the Vauxhalls starting to recover, that's kind of a swinging fight there for Blue side. Take a look over on G side. Not much happening as one of the Vauxhalls has continued to hide behind the ice rock. They're deciding that discretion is better part of valor and not fighting each other.
Oh, but we do see Reigns running for Foxtrot.
Ooh, that is true. Yeah, that Reigns was kind of top of the map this whole game.
It's unspotted.
Yeah. I mean, how do you spot something like that? You don't have radars up here. This thing has got a spyglass,
yeah, that's
right?
true.
Yeah.
It's not like you can get an EWR.
Yeah. It's not exactly like you have a missile ready to throw at that thing either there, so...
Oh, Lambo should probably split that Corvette since both the Corvette and the CL are being hit by the RPF.
Howell's committing on target. The Surrender CL is kicking in on Seaside. The Cruel Thesis has been spotted. Let's see what these hybrids do. AMM's out. Will they be enough? Doesn't look like it.
Ow.
Oh, that thing is going to get gutted. Brutal damage on the Cruel Thesis there. It has 1 restore. Well, that's how you deal with the missile build. Missile harder, apparently. They will cap the C point eventually, though. Take a look at the points right now. Orange team currently leads at 812 to 670.
The cap
blue
advantage
side.
as well.
Yep.
One
Orange
that they're
team,
about to lose.
they will get Foxtrot point there, as you mentioned, but in turn, blue team is going to trade and get the C point here, Charlie. So
I believe Lambo is going to be able to push Kajitan off of Gulf as well and take that in the
I
next
think you're
2
right.
minutes.
It depends if they commit on
Because
target or not.
Kajitan's-
Kajitan's not presenting a good angle and is also not engaging this for some reason. I think they are just intimidated
which
by the
means that
jamming.
If Kajitan keeps on pulling back and keeping distance, Lambo can easily grab the point while keep fighting Kajitan off.
Lambo has a spotlight on their CL and no missiles to go with it. That's unusual. Huh.
Interesting.
Typically, you see a spotlight for guiding in semi-active seekers, but in this case, I guess just
Maybe they meant to
damage.
equip the floodlight for soft kill.
That might be, and they just didn't have enough power otherwise. Huh.
Maybe they clicked the wrong one. I know I've done that before.
Yep. General Stop is going to be using their Axford to clean up whatever lighter CLs they can around here. Lambo and Makinawa giving ground there. This is towards the A point, towards F point, I guess now. Kajitan going to be taking the back cap on F, like we mentioned.
No, being that this Axford is crossfired, it could actually take some damage here if the CLs do a good job at dodging.
Yeah, it's taking some damage, but at the same time, this ship looks pretty healthy right now. I don't think there's enough firepower, because like a CL from the front is not really that much of a threat. One from the broadside is annoying, but an Axford is still fairly healthy. I believe it was Mac who suffered damage earlier, so it might be missing some elevators and stuff.
We are contesting Zone Eclipse.
Yep.
Looks like Charlie and Eclipse are both contested.
Ooh, you're right. Back in the E point, that's a natural for Orange team.
Denison
managed to make their way there with
torping. Oh, it is nearly dead CL is about to become an actually dead CL with those torps.
Yep, Seaside seeing that, then go out there, crunch into the war.
Fuel on fire, this thing is dead in a minute.
Yeah.
But
even so, I don't think it's much of a
Corvettes are drifting off the point. They're drifting off the point. C is secured.
TLS moment as the torp goes wide. Actually, that's just close range moment. Doesn't matter if it's a TLS, CLS, VLS, something LS. Kiwi Burbs suffering under sustained 450 fire. Nick the Nukers, same thing. As soon as they poke out of cover, they're going to get opened up on. Doki has rotated from top of the map B side towards the C point, try and secure this as they dive in. That will actually be kind of significant with the combination of rails. The CL and its escorts should be able to have some effect on target.
But then the CLs can't do much to a battle tanking target. They need to... Oh, they don't have another CL, so they can't split for crossfire.
They can't, but if they bow tank, Cherami's just going to lock those rails onto target and open up. Looks like Cherami actually rotating towards the A to F line, kind of going after the Astro from General Stop there.
Makes sense, because once those two Axfords have still not recovered from the rail hits from earlier.
That's true. They just kind of build up damage over time there, and then the fires just continually keep you crippled. Still 9 fires on one of them. The other one is fairly healthy now. 0 fires on it. It's able to return fire towards Doki. Doki doing a good job keeping bow towards target, dodging this incoming 450. You can do this as long as you maintain your range as well, and it looks like they're doing so, keeping them just at that like 7.5 kilometer mark.
I remember Doki was one of the ones who read my first draft, or not even a draft, it's like my complete work in progress CL guide.
Yes. Well, as we know, reading is overpowered, so can't have that in the Neb community.
I think they might be taking some tips from that.
Yep. All right. I think,
for example, they appear to be doing the backward spiral that I suggested for newer players to do.
Good idea. All right, F point is going to get capped there. Kajitan's Spyglass managed to make it through. Jeremy is sending a blanket jammer Corvette over there. Kajitan have missiles on that thing. They still have 1 missile, so could potentially just... Actually, they can just sit here and hold it. That might be bugged, Hallow says. Let's take a look. Where is Hallow? There they are.
Where is Hallow?
Seaside. Surrender CL. Alright. Nick the Nuker continues to suffer under the fire of Doki there. Doki doing a good job, but might see some things have issues as they get hits here. Not seeing visuals. That's odd. Huh.
Oh, that's an unlucky hit to the unkillable slot. That thing is red, but it's only a workshop.
Take a look. Ooh.
Oh, the CIC's in the middle.
That could be bad. That's a very common area to see hit by 450s then.
At the same time, the armor-piercing rounds might miss that.
Okay, Dirk, I got some questions about this eternal layout on this voxel. Like, you got a rapid in the, 9? You got a workshop in the 8s?
I mean, Doki's a near. I can't blame them for that.
Interesting. And blaming Hunter and stuff. Don't know what's tied to the map. Apparently, no visual tracks or something, so that's a interesting bug. All right, General Stop is currently suffering as the rails have opened up on their actor. It's 17 fires, this thing taking a lot of damage. Yeah, that's the swing that these things needed. Now we're seeing what happens when the 250 AP rounds hit into this ship with its triple damage control effect. That is starting to add up damage significantly.
Rails, with this number, they actually start mattering.
Yep. Again, rails, they are something you ignore until suddenly they build up a whole bunch, and it's like, oh, I don't like this. Oh no, everything's on fire. It's atmosphere leak central. Oh god, get me out of here.
Hopefully the reinforced magazine Citadel CIC cannot be killed from the DT, it looks like.
Magazine can be punched by AP rounds if my math checks out, but a Citadel I don't believe can be. You need 450 for that. All right, let's take a look over on Seaside. These voxels have closed to basically point-blank range. Kazakhstan is squaring off against Lambo over here. Lambo having some suffering going on here. They just looks like they're getting shut up. Kazakhstan taking the better part of the
Since Kazakhstan was not contesting the cap point, Lambo was able to steal it off of them.
Oh, that's interesting. Somebody pointed out no carriers. Yeah, there's not been a single strike.
This is a carrier map. This is very much a carrier map.
Yeah, it's like you have the range. I guess nobody wanted it. Honestly, they just wanted. Actually, here it is. It's a return to classic. We've got rails, we've got missiles, we've got no carriers. This is just old Neb. No OSP. Here we go. Yep. Classic Neb.
Oh, this brings me back.
Yep. Now, the only difference would be instead of this being like a array of 5 rail stones, this would be like a rail battleship, like the 7-barrel style. There we go. All right, so they're talking about visuals over on Seaside, which seems kind of weird and interesting. Wondering if maybe it's the, there's the blue rings on this map, right? Do you think maybe those are obscuring visuals or something?
Oh, that could be it.
It might be a weird collision thing.
Oh, the ANS mid down below is taking the rails and the 250 armor piercing rounds. They are suffering. That reactor is overloading. If they don't scram in time, that thing's gonna blow.
Given the number of rails as well, that's just an exponentially growing problem. This thing has all of its stuff in pain. It can't even move. It's gonna be in pain. All right. Lambo takes the better part of the engagement. General Stop here. Well, they're not dead from the rails. They're not getting up anytime soon, so they're just going to keep getting slogged here. And, any repair efforts are just going to lead to this thing
They didn't scram.
More crits.
They didn't scram. It's beyond 30 seconds. Less than 30 seconds left.
Reactor overload, 50%. Restoring reactor. I think it's not going to make it.
Oh, it's going to blow.
Yep, 12 seconds to go on that kablooey below the map. So yeah, it does go to show rails again. They get really scary when they add up all those damage debuff or damaging debuffs and stuff. Fires, atmosphere leaks, bent surface, all that stuff. All right. One of the actuals dead for Orange Team. Nick the Nuker is still somewhat alive, although suffering as Doki is just continuing. Honestly, just having
Doki has the broadside on them.
Yeah. Have this checkbox of just some gun power where you have these other enabling factors. We saw the missile boats doing really good work earlier. We saw the rails now kicking into effect. Pop, 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 pop. Alright, G point contestation continues as 2 CLs square off against each other in a little dance of death here. I think they're trying to bounce each other, but they keep swapping lanes. They're just kind of doing this nightly jousting. They dance around each other here as they try and cap. Orange Team currently has 196 of the 1,500 points they need to win. They are sitting on a 4 cap versus the Blue Team on a 3 cap with 1084 on the board now. Jeremy's split up her rail destroyers. I'm wondering, is she just trying to go for points with these? Yes, she is. Looks like she's trying to swing some of the fights as Corvettes are brawling over B point here.
I think it's really nice having a railway over railroads is because that you can split them up and basically fire on multiple targets.
That is true. The Rail Destroyer has very good throughput for the points you get. I think it's the best like exchange of points for rail. That said, you don't get some of the benefits of Axford. Like you can go Spyglass Track Correlator. You can get like some heavy armor benefits. You also get the turreted rails. I do like the turreted rails quite a bit for that 3-round burst each one has. The Railicello or Railford, both of them able to put 9 rail shots down range. Really good stuff. All right. F point is programming a missile from one of the frigates against Jeremy with a Corvette here. Corvette does have point defense and jamming and chaff stuff. We'll see what ends up happening there. Between the two of them on the C point there, they're asking which one is dead. The answer is just yes. All right, missile away on the F point. Interception fails and smack. Is it enough? Let's find out when they step on the point.
It's enough to take out the arming missile.
Take out the arming missile and the blanket is the important part. That was actually a really lucky strike. Takes out the arming missile
Incredibly
and the
lucky.
blanket with a singular hit. Crits are going to add up a little bit, but not before they step onto the F point. Let's see.
Yep.
Wait, hang on a second. Does this have...
what?
It doesn't have arming missile. It used its last munition.
No!
Neutral trade. Remember your ceremonial arming missile, folks. 1 point can matter on the ship.
However, overall, looks like... I almost said OSP again. Orange is holding an overall advantage over blue.
I'd say Orange team, yeah, definitely has the advantage. They've pretty handily won the underside of the map on the A point. The G point is a bit of a weird situation right now. Lambo keeps drifting off of this point and is suffering on the G side. They step back onto it, but they've mostly lost their fight due to just kind of some poor angling there, I think. Ketchtan takes the favorite part of that CL broadside brawl in point blank distance. That'll be a 5 cap for Orange. I think that'll probably be the game decided. I don't see Blue being able to swing any other fights, really.
No, I think that's it.
Yeah. Speaking of ammo. Okay, so an E point there's a
Doki
Corvette
might be able to step
from Doki that's just not fighting Ketchtan. It's weird. Normally these return fire on free fire mode. Oh, there we go. Now it's got an order. Wait, firing on position. Why are you pause firing? Oh, it doesn't have radar. That's what they mean. Right, because visual is bugged, so they can't actually assign their targets and stuff. That's interesting. Yeah, definitely have to talk to Mapmaker about that. That's kind of weird.
Oh wait, maybe the size of the map and the visual matrix aren't working very well because it's too big.
That would be an unusual bug. All right. Once again, testing edge cases in Neb.
Oh, looks like S3H out against Kiwiburb at Cruise Thesis.
Yep, Kiwiburb is dead.
Gone.
Hallow finally decides to put that thing out. Yep.
There's nothing left of it.
It's dead, Jim.
And it's cooking off too. Fuel line fire.
Fuel line fire, not a reactor bloom. Okay.
Reactor bloom would be incredibly funny, but
Kiwiburb throws in the towel there, disconnects.
Yep.
All right. Orange team is suffering with their frigates below the map right now as Lambo's moved in. CL's beat frigates here, so we're going to see a blue team trying to take A point. That said, though, Orange team, 5 cap situation, they only need 106 points to win right now. Blue team with a 2 cap and needing close to 300. I think that Orange team just has this pretty handily in the bag.
The enemy is securing zone.
That's why they don't get visual on D point. Where the heck is Dagger on this map? Here we go. Yeah. Jeremy and Stabble over here just squaring off against each other. It might be, like you said, the visual matrix just isn't configured for a map this large. I don't know enough about map making to really comment, though.
Me neither. Oh, I know. I just know the very basics because I was participating in carrier testing.
Ah, gotcha. That was a fun bug here or there to figure out. Okay, C-Cap is going through for the Orange team. E-Point contested briefly, but then brought back to neutral again. Both teams on the E side just trying to throw hands at each other. Doki continues trying to position fire there because they just don't have visual. Oh, It might just be that. Like, I don't know. Those cap points are more than 20 kilometers from the map center. Maybe that's something to do with it? Definitely one of those kind of like, hey, this is weird. We noticed this happening. In case it's submit.
Enemy secured zone comet.
Right. B-Cap, seeing blue team trying to send more stuff. Kazakhstan has a singular Corvette here that's holding down as best it can. Rails are trying to hit this thing, but suffering at that distance. Actually, that distance is like point blank, and they're still somehow missing. How do you miss at that range? It's right in front of you. Shoot him. All right. Like, actually, though, how do you miss that? Jeez. GG, well played, declared here. This has been Blue Moon, Caltrop that suffered global warming and then made the map bigger as the sea levels rose, obviously. Orange team will take it
how
after...
it works, but sure.
What do we want to call this one? 50 minutes of brawling? Certainly felt like it.
Something like that, yeah. Lots of close-range combat, which is always nice to see.
Yeah, it's interesting.
We haven't
like,
seen that in ages.
It's a very large map, but it gets very compact. Only 38 minutes on this. Huh. All right. Let's go through the fleets real fast here. Doki pulling shy of 16k on their central command ship CL there. Air escorts pick up a little damage.
CL.
Jeremy does not show the damage numbers on the rails, but those things were brutally effective at bringing out the fires on the ships. Fuel front kind of got cleaned up by unfortunate fight there. Taking on 450 head-on and the missiles was unfortunate for them. Kiwi Bird tried to missile, and a lot of those just got soft-killed. Plenty of them got hard-killed. Lambo pulls shy of 5k with 1 CL. Other one pulls 19k. That's good stuff there. Buff CL, obviously. And Mac, similar kind of story, but a little more distributed. 14.6 and 12.3, respectively.
Act command. Oops. Yeah. That would do it.
At CMD eval. Yep. All right. Demison, interesting fleet concept-wise. I think needs a little bit more tweaking and stuff. The TLS is notorious for just never firing when you want it to. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
General
it's usable, but like.
Oh yeah, the TLS is neat. Don't get me wrong, but it's so finicky to get working. Nice. The MIT from General Stop here, 14k. Hecky backpack on that, 450 expert. Otherwise, nice stuff. Their their frigate, I think it was that. No, this wasn't the one that went to the F point. The Hallows. No, Hallow had a jam.
That one was Kachitan's frigate.
Ah, okay. We'll get to them in a bit. So, Hallow, 27.5k. We'll call that good surrender CL action. Kajitan, their CL as well, pulling just shy 15k. A couple Corvettes are on the map doing work. Then we saw that frigate capping the point for trying to. Nick the Nuker just unfortunately Axfords. They did do work against CLs, but damn, did those rails add up fast. Unless
rails hurt.
Yeah, rails hurt. Stabble coming in with the collection of various frigates around the board, and then some. Oh no, they were the frig blob, right? They had a Corvette to go with. All right. Well, let's ready ourselves up then. That was quite a match. Let's head back to the main Discord as well, shall we?
Yep.
There's that channel.
Yeah, good night.
Good night. Okay.
All right, Vastal, Star and I just finished our post-game discussions. How are we doing?
That's a good question. I don't know. Check in an hour's time.
Understandable. All right, we want to get another lobby going, or how are we doing?
Yeah, Nick and Kayatan, could you please ready up? Thank you. And yet again, could I have some sign-ups on the sign-up sheet? Play the video game, yada yada.
It's also a great opportunity for people to just take a little intermission here. We're going to do one of those Twitch sides, so like I said, Twitch will be right back in 3 minutes. Meow meow.
Imagine being a Twitch streamer. Couldn't be me.
Crazy.
It'll happen to you someday, Vostel. You can't escape it.
No, I mean, I might do it every once in a while, but like I haven't done it in a bit. I want to more focus on YouTube videos because
Alrighty, Twitch side, folks, we are back in action. Let me check the audio cables, make sure everything is scuffed the right way.
Okay, we're missing 2 human beings that I called out by name. Soviet Union, Ant Tank 101, Pazuzu's, Tasty Cookie, Demison, Lambu, Doki, Silver Pickaxe, General Stop, and Kiwi. Who are we missing?
Tasty and Pazuzu, I think.
Ant 101 is not in the server. Is Ant 101 still in the call? Ant Tank, sorry. And we don't have enough numbers for a second lobby. Pazuzu is not in the call or server. Okay, we will then move on to the next person in the list, who is Ender Slime, if Ender Slime would like to play.
Chat, I'll have you know, I'm shamelessly taking this opportunity to continue eating.
I'm a little bit
I was hungry.
Out of tune. You guys are doing the sign up?
I mean, it's very easy to do a sign up sheet. Password is AVA, all lowercase. And we're gonna need one more human being, so I'm gonna shove another person into despair and gonna get Cryoramic.
Go into the despair.
No. Yeah, could I get Cryoramic to join in on the Dialo
Finish my stack
server?
We will begin once again.
To everyone that's in the lobby, make sure that you load at least either a Cataract Jammer or a Masquerade Ammunition, so that it'll show that you have a mod loaded. Therefore, the enemy team won't be able to discern who they should focus down at the start of the game. They don't know who has what, supposedly.
We're mostly set up for everything here.
Do you know what's the nicest thing about AVA? It's that the pike doesn't look at you.
Actually, apparently last game visuals just didn't work for quite a few things, so...
Yeah, no, yeah, that's even better. You just don't even see the ships. It's great. It's truly nebulous.
Could we try to get at least, like, one carrier in these games? Please, for the love of God.
Ooh, carrier?
The whole point of me doing this was to develop carrier v carrier with AVA, and there was like, yeah, let's just bring gun.
Oh.
Okay, but
Oh, yeah.
have you considered like 32 size 3 hybrids though?
Let me take a look at the community event post. Only 3k worth of... Okay, so how about this? Each team, I ask that you bring 3k worth of levy. Can you do that for me? And talk amongst each other. 3k worth of levy, no more. No more or less. You're bringing 3k of levy. The issue of that, of course, is some of you are just going to bring a lot of SDMs, and if you do, that's going to be really sad.
No. Bastal, we know these players better. They're going to bring 4 VLS3s on their levy.
Oppenheimer.
Maybe, who knows?
Strikes again.
Come on, Chad, you know they're going to do that.
Okay, can we get teams to teams, please? Can Team 1 go to Bullseye, Team 2 to Bullskill? Thank you very much. And remember to drink water.
Just finished doing that myself. Thanks for the reminder, Vastal. I like Vastal's just running bit. Like, he pops in anywhere, just says, drink water. It's like,
a made-up number of gamers are dehydrated.
A big sip you request, very well.
So that's
okay, but hear me out. Vitamin water.
No.
No.
Ender, not Ender, sorry. Wait, is Ender still in his voice call? They're not good. We need to jump down. Team Buzzkill, and yep, they're both full.
All right, well, if everyone's ready then, I think me and Star will just hop in the caster box again and go from there.
Yeah, I sentence you to casting. Good luck.
Bye-bye, Mr. Catboy.
All right. Live channel where you at? There you go.
No.
All right, let me just get this turned back on. There we are.
Free from push to talk again.
Set my thing. I kind of wish it was like it would just like click on specifically when push to talk was set as your default, and you didn't have to like go change it every time.
Yeah, it'd be fun. It'd be cool to have some sort of quick toggle for it.
Yeah. All right. Yep. I will remind everyone who's currently on stream or listening or watching and stuff like that, we do ask if you are playing in a match, you kindly mute the stream and not look at it and do stuff like that. We do appreciate your viewership, don't get us wrong, but we want to keep this as a fair, balanced experience for everyone. We don't want stream sniping or to encourage any behavior like that. Yeah. We appreciate your viewership. Easiest way is just mute the tab, minimize it to your desktop or whatever, and then that still contributes viewership for us on Twitch side, but doesn't mean that you get any, like, information you shouldn't have. That said, it's also like kind of funny because Neb is one of those games where you could probably have map hacks and you would still probably end up losing to it, right? Like,
yeah, honestly, I mean, there's a lot of sensor warfare information, but even if you do kind of cheat and see what's coming, sometimes it just isn't enough.
Yeah, it's like you're still screwed either way. Like, you're not winning this gunfight, even if you do see the enemy. It's like, oh, I know that I'm facing against like a Vauxhall and a like escort jammer thing. Cool, you're a sprinter.
I mean, a sprinter you can technically win if you pause fire the same exact spot over and over and direct
yeah, let me just pause fire this exact same spot here with my millions of APM that is gonna perfectly predict your dodging. So yeah,
that would be insane if someone pulled that off, though.
It'd be cool. Need to have like an octopus arms and like even like clicking through the
like
menu.
If you have a shuttle, like if you think about it, if you have a shuttle and you're pancaking, they can't exactly kill you in a reasonable amount of time.
Okay, so
you do actually have time.
So we'll just teach the bar AI with its micro hell how to play Nebulous.
Oh my god. That is absolutely terrifying.
Right? It's like, oh look, a gun shuttle. Oh no. What's the one term? It's for varying your heading and velocity. It's jink, I believe, is the technical term for it.
Just not really a technical term. If I'm
pretty sure there is. Hang on a sec. Let me double check to make sure I'm not talking about my own ass. So yeah, jink is defined as change direction suddenly and nimbly as when dodging a pursuer. There you go. So there is a term for it. Ah, I'm not completely crazy. I'm just mostly. I grabbed the... Okay. I did something on OBS side. I don't think it's important. All right. That's fine. You can teach the Neb AI to Jink too. Yeah. It's just like adjusting couple behaviors and stuff there. I've seen some people like discuss like hypothetically what's possible with it, because I know that List put in the Neb AI as part of the carrier update, which honestly, I really like just the fact that it's there. The Neb AI for the longest time was notorious for just being rudimentary, right? Like
forehead.
Yeah.
Forehead.
It's like it was there and you had to assign targets. Like it would just hop between points and shoot its gun. That was kind of it.
The way it works now is a lot more complicated. But also like it's a lot neater.
Yeah.
It's still very much a prototype though. Like a lot of things are missing. It's like it's a framework, a very big framework for things, and it's like partially filled in.
I'll disagree on it being still just forehead. There's a little bit more nuance, but it doesn't quite replicate like player behavior with a bit like of hesitation or dodging during fights or like breaking away from that.
I mean, it does what's it called, battle tanking now? Yeah. It does find a cover, and it does try to hide its cappers, and it also knows the roles of each ship, like backline ships staying to backline, for example. And it can stress a wiggle.
It's not like the most advanced like Super StarCraft playing AI or anything like that, but for a game that's still very much in early access phase, a lot of things being worked on and developed, and like things that are put out that will sometimes end up breaking or just like not quite being like fully realized at the time, because again, it's an early access game. You're building this thing as we are playing it. It's pretty good. Now, with that being said, I will still say that the AI is better than some of the players.
Okay, but Firebird. Like, oh, I see.
Yeah, it's like Firebird. I mean, you do this exact same thing. I'm just pointing this out. You walk forward and get shot a whole bunch. Are you the AI?
I don't know. I feel like, okay, definitely forehead's a lot. But like, What can I say? AI death instinct.
All right. AI death instinct. Okay, so it does. You know, there's the problem. We trained it on the player base. Unfortunately, the player base has no idea what they're doing.
I will say something cool though that something I still find cool is that the AI craft launch pattern is based off of mine when I provided my flowchart for reference. So some really funny things is that I noticed the AI sometimes has some of my bad habits.
I just see Kentan in chat being like, I still doesn't know how to use carriers. And I just look at Star as you mentioned this, like, do tell. I mean, okay, I don't really do that well with carriers either. That means I'm just playing on their level. There's also some cases where it's like, how much of it is like a issue with like the AI's decisions and how much is the weird thing with like how craft works. Because I did an infuriating game one time where it's like, I saw a bomber approaching me. I had a pike. I told the pike, go attack the bomber. And the pike just kept turning around in circles and it wouldn't ever engage. I'm like, it's a straight line. There's no cover. Please, just shoot them. Yep.
Yeah, that sucks.
Octree moments. It's like, there's only so many things you can do because craft ultimately and Neb are a little bit jank because of the way the pathfinding and grouping and stuff works. There's a lot of complicated shit going on under the hood to make them even work to begin with. Behavior for I have nothing to do is drive into the middle of the map. That's what players do.
I mean, I feel like the AI... Okay, so the AI has perfect knowledge, so it does kind of try to take up positions. But otherwise it does kind of just push in.
It has some default behavior stuff there, but yeah, there's the goal of it, like trying to cap the points. And as players, we know like something like Pillar's A point, you just don't go there unless you expect to die, or it's like really late game. So,
but it's really cool how what the AI does is that it makes fire orders. It makes fire mission orders. And fulfills them using backline assets or rail assets.
All right, well, we got two things. One, hello, everyone. Two, they just redeemed Drown the Cat Boy, so this is going to start this off. All right.
Remember, this solely. Neko, you solely are responsible for this.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I continue to regret my life choices with this. Team 1 at the Blue Trunks ANS, Kiwi Burb, Tasty Cookie, Andy Star, Doki, and Soviet Union. Team 2 in the Orange Trunks, also ANS, General Stop, Ceramic, Demison, Lambo, and Hollow. We're on Ruby Shelf. 6 points here. This is a 5v5 version. I'm joined to the co-casting nature by Star here.
Hello there.
And yeah, we're just kind of going through this game now as both teams going to line up and deploy their stuff. It's the Alliance versus Alliance Fight Night special, so there is some modded content. There is a EO jammer available to the teams if they take it. We'll see if they do or not. I feel like sometimes like the EO jammer, right? Because it exists, people just don't run EO. But you know that not everything is going to run like a EO Dazzler. So kind of like a weird contradiction, right? Anyways, take a look at Blue Team's deployment. Seems like they're just... Oh, no. Okay, right. I just remembered. So we asked both teams to bring 3k worth of levy, right? Are you still with me?
Yep.
Okay. We asked both teams to bring 3k worth of levy. I see Shadow Wizard Money Gang on Blue Team.
Wait, what?
Neotag Tasty has Shadow Wizard Money Gang.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Oh my god, Tasty.
All right, so Creeching time indeed. Let's see. We had a game on what we thought was going to be a super carry heavy map, but there was no planes whatsoever. So
wait,
this will be a thing.
Tasty, where the heck did you get this fleet? Or did
Good question. I think it's been passed around a couple times now. Last we checked,
No,
it was
the
all
original
bomber
the original Shadow Wizard Running Gang is never been passed around except to 2 people.
I saw a version of it that was submitted into like Fleet Chat. Anyways, let's take a look at that first and foremost. Okay, this is going to be a all but completely naked levy here. Deck gear locker, rapid, basic CSE. Yeah, as cheap as you can get these, really. It's all bombers with a sundial in one, and all bombers with a sundial in the other one. These, okay, it doesn't show us the internals. I think it's a size 3 launchers, right? Yep.
Should be. For a moment, I tried to look to see if it had stealth coding, then I remembered.
We're on live friendship. Okay, other fleets. Soviet Union comes in with a 450 Axford size 2 backpack. Bomber Buster, no cap, anti-skip stuff. All right, so just a bunch of general stuff there. SDM AMMs. Interesting choice.
Interesting.
They've got themselves a bullseye spyglass frigate at the top of the map. Okay, cool. And then looks like a pair of escorting, escorting corvettes to go with their Axford. Pretty common pairing.
Corvette / cappers.
Yep. Nebulous got
Honestly,
themselves
pretty nice.
a super missile delivery device. Size 3s on top, size 2s on the belly. We saw this thing last game get annihilated by missiles, but we'll see if it gets better action this turn. They've got themselves a little jammer corvette to go with. They got the cataract jammer on the chin there. That's the ANS Dazzler equivalent. Okay. Andy Star, you'll like this one, Star. Living up to your name. They've got themselves a pair of CLs here with 250s and the size 2 backpacks on both. Yep.
Size 2 backpacks.
All right. Minecraft themed names according to that. Bane of Arthropods, beginning at the end, Bedrock. Cool stuff there. Lastly, Doki coming in with a cap plate. Looks like they got 1, 2, 3. Okay. One of them is the jammer. The other ones are just gun vets. I think that's an 8-point rush that they're just kicking 3 of their ships onto. Got themselves a capper of the gun variety going towards east side. Got themselves another one on the natural point. What's that?
Yeah, sending a large amount to overcommit onto neutral. Not.
Yeah, that's a little risky.
It's risky, but it can pay off if they don't. Even if you lose all 3 of them, that still basically sets the early game.
Yeah. So there's 2 central neutral points, A and B there. They got 2 beam destroyers, and then they've got looks like, yeah, that's the last of the gun captures there. Okay, cool.
Looks like we have an engagement on the left side natural, or actually left side from the blue side. So on Echo.
E-point Echo, the AvA is going to get shot by Save Another Day for Me. This is one of Hallow's little gun cappers here. Hallow running with a carrier and what's that then? Torpedo Corvette, Gun Corvette, Gun Corvette. Okay, what's in Hallow's?
These are evenly matched.
Not with those missiles, they're not. Incoming size 2s on E-point side.
Oh!
Those are glitter bomb equipped, apparently. One of them is.
Are they command? They are command.
That's probably going to find its way in. There goes one.
Oh.
Defender's
the defender
apparently
locks in
wow.
and shoots down everything else.
Singular missile hit there. Not that much damage overall. Interesting stuff.
But it's enough to swing that fight, along with the support from 2 other gun corvettes.
All right, Demisen coming in with their 6 corvettes. I have to get through Hallow's carrier real quick. Let's take a look at this thing. Couple bombers, couple of Santos, pretty normal looking. Got some sundials on the board. Okay, so fairly standard carrier gameplay there. Doki going to be suffering on that E-point side. Demisen has got themselves these cool little pairs of corvettes going around with torpedoes and some point defense set up along with jamming. See how well they can sweep this game.
Look at Buzzsaw Flight. Look at Buzzsaw Flight. Look at the names of the missiles.
Give me one quick second as I'm watching Missile Strike East side first, and I'll take a look at the little Buzzsaw there. Is that orange or blue team?
Blue team.
All right. Let's see. Buzzsaw, what do we got here? Aradulus, Hodulus, Wakulus, and Bomb. I totally couldn't guess what these secret types might be, right?
No, never.
If they wanted to do mind games, they would name them something else, right? Like they would say like the Arad ones of the Wakes. SDM's going to find some of these. They'll clean up some of the bombers, but there's 2 levies for the bombers for ANS. That's for ANS. For
no, the Shadow is a renegade, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, they don't expect them to live. They just need to get their bombs off. Anyways, they're trying to outrun those SDMs. And I think that they're gonna
outrun some of them. I feel like Tasty might not be using these the right way.
All right.
But at the same time, Tasty wouldn't have gotten them through the SDMs anyways.
Kiwi Bird's gonna get missile pick there. All right, yeah, Hallow loses one of their corvettes on that side. All right, 8 point. Gonna be 3 corvettes against 2 corvettes, as Demisen has got themselves just below the points. Like, no, actually, they're on the point now proper. That's gonna be a fight down mid there. They also had a group over on F side. Hallow move forward, and then Demisen cover them. Kind of like seeing that. I said Andy Starr is going to say something about those corvettes once they get a lock. Yeah, RPF rounds already starting to sing. Missile fight continues on E point side. They're just trying to dump, what's it, like 60 size 2s into these corvettes. Getting some errors here from the Dazzler. Apparently disagrees with something in the game. We don't quite know what.
Landing, this is exhausting their AMMs quite cheaply, though.
That is true. Size 2s,
Oh, those are some unfortunate dice rolls. 4 fails in a row.
Yeah. Size 2 is going to find their way through onto the series colors only. That thing is not looking so great.
It's knocked out.
Is it knocked out proper? Or CS? Ooh, CIC 0% from the gun. That'll do it. Torpedoes out from Buzzsaw Flight of Tasty Cookie there. These are going to put the... I think that's going to put the nail in the coffin on this.
The torp in the coffin.
Certainly, yeah. It's a large-sized nail.
It's gone.
Yep. Wait, it's still alive? How the hell is this alive?
The CIC and
somehow managed to survive the
reinforced
locker.
Restore. One restore.
One is enough, I guess. I like how nobody went for B point on this map. Like, it's just neutral. There's not even anyone watching it.
Looks like Doki's 3 Sprinter Rush did not take Alpha. They're currently fighting it out.
Doki decided to hold back, but now they're getting a good shot onto the Xenophobe over here. This thing's CIC is not up yet.
Shooting back. They're not shooting back.
They're not really actually... Okay, I think this is an APM issue, because Demisen has got 3 of these units around, like 3 groupings around the board. That's a lot to pay attention to.
Not enough micro to deal with this.
Okay, missile strike on the F side. Going to see the waters tested here against these Minecraft
They woke up. Torps out. Torps out. Maybe. Oh no, it's rotating!
TLS on the A point?
Turning. The TLS on A point is stuck turning.
Rip. Okay, simultaneous missile strike around the map. These ones on F side might find their way through. Big missile strike in the background against Kiwi Burp, going to knock out some of their belly stuff.
The enemy is securing zone 4.
Alright, looks like the CLs on F are going to make it through mostly intact. Kiwi Burp, though, is just getting missile dumped. Lambo saw their target and decided, yeah, alright, full send it. Lambo with their own missile build here.
Oh my god.
Did we not cover
so
Lambo's
many
fleet?
S2s.
Oh shit. What is
we
this?
Never did.
This is a build? Okay. Double VLS 2s on this and a Mark 65 on the nose. That is... Alright, Kiwi Burp just loses the front half of their ship. Cell cook-off starting to go off. They need to repair this thing, and they've got 4 restores to do it. Possible, but that's... So 2 missile experts just decided, alright, fuck it, we dump. And, yeah.
One dump target than the other, I suppose.
Yep. You were saying I brought double interrupt, and it still didn't work. I think it's because Lambo got the tech for it. Yep. Double supplementary radio amplifier that will punch you through that.
Ubert has the same thing.
Do they? Yeah, they did.
They also have double radio
game recognizes game.
All
right. 8 point violence commences as just sprinters brawl with sprinters. The torpedo sprinters I don't think are going to do well here. One of them is back up online, but I think Beeson just... Yeah, they needed to like cap this point and then step off
finally,
immediately.
It's finally launched. Oop. They finally got the alignment to launch.
Size 3 torpedo in the waters here.
Oh, but Defender's going to get it.
Miss, unfortunately.
It missed.
Yep.
Low track quality.
Low track quality, plus if it had gotten too close, Defenders I think would have been enough. Defenders doing some weird tracking right now. Right.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
That's going to be like 1,000 point pick off there for Blue. Size 2 sets in the water against Soviet Union. Soviet Union has got flak.
SDMs to
and who needs SDMs? You've got quad Stonewall. Apparently it's not enough. What the hell? Excuse me? How are you getting size 2s through quad Stonewall? What?
Sufficient numbers, I suppose.
I guess so. Weird targeting, I guess, from that. That should have been more than enough to exhaust that thing.
But size 2 hybrids hit the missile launching ship in counterfire, knocking out the bottom VLS.
Yep. Bottom launcher is gone. It does still have its VLS in the back slot, which is firing off now. Oh, they must have targeted towards the decoys, and that messed up the tracking. Yeah, okay, now that the flak is on target, all those size 2s are going to eat it. That's more expected.
The decoys are doing... I see, the decoys are doing work, but...
Kind of like that mixed salvo size 2 Penade with a little bit of the glitter bomb launch there, just seeing what they can get done. All right.
We got a torp strike from Tasty, and it all goes for chaff.
Bunch of torps from Demisen as well, trying to go for the F point side, but unfortunately they get too close to the comms jamming and then get seduced off. Tasty is up with a couple of these bombers. Firestorm Flight is armed and dangerous near the A point. They just haven't submitted on anything yet. Hybrids going out as these Axfords on, which side is this? E point side, continue to brawl. That's a Heckpy. Gonna get deflected, but the other one finds its way through.
Nice.
Gun plotting center goes down. Honestly, not the greatest Heckpy strike that could have been, but still respectable amount of damage as it just kind of like cleaved off one of the sides here.
Mm-hmm. Which ship is this one?
I was looking at... Oh, which one was that one, actually? It was from Soviet Union. The Moskva was their Axford that just got Heckp'd. That said, they got their own size 2 Heckpy out on target, and that's going to do a good chunk of damage as well. Doesn't get the whole, Stemmister gutting,
it's
but...
only a S2. It's only a S2H. It's not going to instantly red things out.
More torpedoes out towards Soviet Union's capital. Defenders will pick off those. I think one of them going to find its way through, at least. That's a lot of damage.
Oh, how big are these warheads on these?
That is not an insignificant warhead size, because that just redded, the entire front section with one hit.
Ouch.
Sarissa Fire picking away.
We got counter-fire missiles coming for that sprinter.
So I think Tasty's in the backfield now, headed towards C Point. They've got themselves their squadron of bombers. I think they're hunting around for the enemy carrier.
They're hunting for the carrier.
Hallow is getting fighters airborne right now, so they do have the ability to intercept this. They got 20 mil and 35 mil, which is going to do devastating work against these bombers.
Well, Firestorm is tracked, unfortunately, so Tasty can't get that stealth strike off.
Yep. Onto the alert fighters. Hallow should immediately have these things tasked. I think they already are tasked on target.
They are not tasked on target. They're still
guarding
defending.
all around, apparently.
Oh, they're tasked. They're being tasked. They're moving.
There we go. Moving to position. They should see these things right as they come around the corner. Sarissa Fire is on target. Fencer Flight engages, missiles away. Mixture of the orange.
Oh, Firestorm is just in range to launch. Firestorm is just in range to launch.
Yep, again, those torpedo pairings out. These are Axe Seekers. Hallow has got rebounds, and they've got shaft launch. They have a radar on this thing. They do have a radar. I don't think they've MCON, so those ARADs will find their way.
They're not MCON, so they validate onto target.
Yep. Target validated. Most of them going to miss. Still, those 2 torpedo strikes, that's going to...
Oh, that knocks up the Inferno hangars. Oh, that's not good.
All right. All things considered, they can recover somewhat. They need to pick which hangar to pick. The large pad is missing, which is kind of important there. There's certain limiters to your throughput, large pads being one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. F side, Andy Star is beaten and bloodied, but is managed to somewhat back off here. The point, though, is in the hands of the Orange team. General stop with the Axford up top. The MIT is seeing off most of those threats. More missile dump on the other side of the map, E point side, as more and more of these sides
are missile just S2 trading over and over again on this side.
ANS, the hybrid faction, deciding screw it, conventionals are good enough and just bonking away at whatever they can here. Size 2 Axford actually getting a surprising amount of work done.
Yeah, if you can get missiles through, they do some of the highest damage that you can get in the game.
Size 2 is generally pretty cheap and just a good all-around missile. Hit a guy with it. I like running them on my tugs, as I mentioned before, but yeah, just conventionals, if they land, they're good. All right. Beam out on the F point side of the map from, I think it's the... Where's this battle? Wow, I completely threw covering orange team. There's a battleship with a beam on the belly and 450 on the top and a backpack comms jammer. Huh.
Yes, there is.
That's a build, yes.
What's mounted in the, Oh, they have point defense turrets mounted in the
spawn cheeks and stuff. Yeah, alright. Does it have a backup antenna? I don't see one.
Oh, no.
Alright, so, the Stalwart Dawn is a battleship here, certainly. It's got a, ticket ship going along with it, so that's a thing.
Oh, Seal's eating a beam from it.
Yeah, that's the F point side, I think, is firmly in the hands of Orange Team. That said, Blue Team has secured the neutral A and B points, so they're feeling pretty good. More of these missiles exchanged as these Axfords just decide to throw missile after missile after missile. Honestly, it feels like despite Blue Team getting some good points on the board here, I think I don't know now, actually. I feel like blue team has taken like quite a bit of damage, but orange team has as well. The carrier strike is kind of big, limiting Hallow's effectiveness and throughput. The pads are still down, so they can't actually land very many fighters on this thing.
Tasty just needs to kill everything on the map, basically, at this point.
I think at this stage, yeah, Tasty with the torpedo complement there can just kind of go around picking as they please. There's plenty of targets that have had their point defense degraded at this stage of the game, which is when missiles get really scary. Not to say they haven't already been scary, but it's one of those cases of, oh, I don't have point defense in this arc. My chaff launcher is depleted. I really need these components not to be orange and yellow and stuff.
There is no chance that Blackjack could intercept this incoming flight Cleaver from below, because they are already in launch range.
Yeah, Cleaver gonna get their shots off here. Torpedoes away. Yep. Dude, Claymores really dumped their torpedoes like that. I swore that they took a second longer to stagger them, but no, they just seem to group them that well. Nice.
That's why they're so scary.
Gotta play more carriers, I guess, apparently. All right, gut shot into the Wrath of Naram Sin over here. Gonna lose the reactor briefly. VLS2 on the back is mostly empty, so it's all right. Actually, on that note, VLS2s on this thing are basically dry. It has canter launches that are also dry. I think it's basically out of juice.
Yeah, it's firing singular missiles.
That's kind of all it's got. Soviet Union's, what's this? Moskva over here in turn. Where's that on the board? It is also pretty much dry. Yeah, I think they've expended the missile complement, and now it's just coming down to who has better guns. Honestly, once Soviet Union restores their belly gun, the Mark 68 there, I think that they'll be winning this fight. Yeah, the Mark 65 is not going to square off against an Axford in a favorable engagement like that. 450 will win it.
S3H going out against
that it is. Saw Hodge on this one. HE shaped. Going to throw some of this. Bonk and bonk. A little bit of light damage across the ship. Not the greatest splashes there. We saw some components go down. I think it was rapid locker only.
Moscow's not living up to the name. Not yet. Says Soviet Union.
All right. General Stop fires off some of their backpack missiles, trying to help out on that flank over there, see if they can't relieve a bit of their forces. More missiles going to fly by. SGM-2's CMD Hodge just going to miss target, apparently. Who's dumping all of these things from below? Ooh, Kiwi Bird decided that they wanted to get some of the action. Looks like they have restored their VLS-2 on the belly. Their back is a size 3 they don't have enough for. Yeah, these missiles in the later game against a ship like this with 450 nearby, that's going to do a lot.
I will say for Shadow Wizard Money Gang, I would probably not choose this Torp loadout like so.
I think there's certain restrictions you have to do, but yeah, I'm with you. Like, the pure Axe Seeker, I feel, is opening a lot of opportunities of failure with just a bunch of the jamming stuff.
And you really do, it's all validated act, which makes it easy to soft kill in some regards. The other thing...
Isn't some of them Hodge? I can't remember.
Oh yeah, it's act Hodge.
That said, though, a single radar jammer will mean that, like, what? 2/3 of your volley is going to get seduced, right?
Yeah. It'll just get no-selled.
Yeah. CMD Seeker's very good on torpedoes like that. You just get your bombers in range, lock target, and dump, and that's generally enough to kill. Still, you have to go cheaper combos here to fit, like, the Shadow Wizard Money Gang, like, dual levy, max bomber style. Battleship.
I mean, you can afford AO. You can afford AO Val on these.
Okay, Battleship going to get torpedoed here near the A point. This thing is already suffering a reactor crit. A fuel line fire specifically. A bunch of those torpedoes coming in here. Some of them going to get shot down, I think, by this massive defenders. 1, 2, I think, get hit. Front reinforced stack takes a hit, but it's honestly okay. Citadel CIC center of this thing. Reinforced CICs at the front of this thing. Pretty tough tanky battleship.
It's about to eat a fuel line fire in like a moment, unless it fixes it last moment.
I think they did. I don't see it go off.
Oh my! It had 1
second in a dream. That's all you need. Just turn up the fuel, fools. All right. Over on the E-point side, Torpedo is going to be trying to engage on this point. One of them finds its way into the belly of plane. That actually was negligible damage. What the hell? Torpedo just takes out the Mark 62. Let's see if this other one does work. That's more like it.
Oh, there we go. That's good damage.
Yeah. Sometimes you get weird arcs with the way the shotgun kind of spray pattern distributes in the ship. It's like, what, a 60-degree wide cone, I think, or something?
I think it's bigger than that. I think it's 100,
maybe it is... maybe it's like 120. I can't remember now.
6 degree off the center, 120 degree cone total.
Okay, that sounds right. Yeah, I knew there's a 60 in there somewhere. All right, General Stop gonna make their way onto the F point and secure this for the orange team.
Leningrad
B point
takes
cap
another
is...
torp hit straight from behind, knocks out their reactor, and reds out their mag.
Which ship? Sorry, I was looking around.
The one that got torped earlier that we watched.
Right.
It got torped again from behind. Oh, it's dead now, I think.
All right.
No, it's still alive. It's still alive.
So Tasty Cookie has fielded 8 bombers now. This is one of those crippling strike levels.
There we go. There we go.
Excellent.
Shadow Wizard Money Gang was designed to form up in groups of 8 and not 4. 4 is a light strike for Shadow Wizard Money Gang.
There's also the fact that, like, once you kind of get 8 bombers airborne in the game and pick a target, generally speaking, that thing dies. I say generally speaking because, of course, there's always going to be some exceptions, but 8 bombers is... It is fierce fighting against that.
I believe Tasty Cookie opted to use KB22s instead of the standard CBU 40s.
I think the CBUs had some weird performances before they commented on. I vaguely remember talks of this.
The biggest reason I would say here is the armor pen. The CBUs don't have enough armor pen to deal with ANS ships.
That does make sense,
the reason you see CBUs on Shadow Wizard Money Gangs because they're usually used against.
These torpedo bombers are getting dangerously close before dumping. There you go. They're already in point defense range. So that's just 16 torpedoes. 12 torpedoes and then KB22s in the second pass will spell Lambo's death.
Oh no, Tasty launched these too close. They didn't have time for a bomb lineup.
No, I think that was just fine for them with that regard, because with the strike there, they can just go around for another pass.
They can, but...
Ideally, yeah, you get the commence on target, and then they line up for it. Alright, so Lambo is going to become a miniature sun before too long here, as their Whiplash, I believe, puts off from a fuel line. Nah, it's just a fuel line.
It's a fuel line, fine.
Yep. Wake Seekers got decoyed by Craft. That's an interesting one there. Alright, let's take a look at the board situation right now. So, B-Cap, Demisen actually is capping this despite having a crippled ship. Doki has 3 Corvettes shooting at them, and 4 Corvettes make that, actually. They just can't kill this damn thing off, because it's a reinforced shit brick. Wait, it has no damage control teams.
Wait.
Oh, it's on borrowed time. It has a knock steering and a Whiplash and a Dream, and apparently just the arc is really bad on it, and just
where's the damage?
There's no team. It just has a intact Ox and a Whiplash, and it's somehow...
the damage control teams died. It has a DC. It has a RDC, but
that's what I said. It's just somehow still there. Oh, Song of the People was requested. Very well. Let's look at that Axford.
Also, I have not been catching up with chat. Crew must have trained with a Steiner Scout Lance.
Yep, I was looking at, I think it was the battleship that was earlier. We do appreciate your comments and stuff, chat. We don't have time to read every single one in the moment, as there's plenty of things going on and we try and cast the game, but we do appreciate everyone who comes out to these streams. Anyways, Lambo is going to go fuel line critical, blows the ship apart there, finally. Taking a look around the map right now, let's see. Orange team is working themselves towards a 4 cap. B point will stop, though, as Doki steps onto the point. They're still just trying to kill off this single torpedo corvette and just refusing to die. Why is this thing... Is this bugged or something? What the hell? It just isn't taking damage. Like, it's... All the shots are intact... Are, I guess, hitting the midsection. They're just not going anywhere else.
I don't think it's hitting... It's not hitting the, It's not hitting the drive.
I guess it's just like splashing into the main engine and stuff, and just the hitboxes are such that the RPF spray doesn't get it. They should at this range just convert over to using HE rounds. They have HE.
No, just
they do.
No, if you've noticed, there's no hit marks anywhere on the drive section.
Yeah, might be a weird collider here or something. And no, we're seeing it impact. Anyways, beam went off in the background there.
Yep.
Okie dokie gonna.
Doki beamed beamed the full refund.
Full refund gets exactly what you'd expect there. That's the Stabagale from Doki. Where's the other one? Okay, yep, I remember this fleet now. Doki actually took one of my naming suggestions. The destroyers are named Stabagale and Slashley, which I personally think is hilarious. But anyways, beams also towards the E-point side. Where did that come from? Ooh, the Stalwart Dawn, the battleship, has crossed over the A-point side, has decided to join the E-point. This is a pretty healthy battleship, and I don't think anything besides bombers is going to kill it. Grudge Flight is airborne, though, with 8 bombers, so...
I expect... Oh, yep, they're hard burning. They have a target.
Hardburn has target, moving to position. Probably just gonna crest over the rock and then catch this thing in the broadside.
I'm thinking they're gonna hang this stop at that rock, wait for the battleship to get closer, and just pop out instantly and torp it.
We'll see.
I think
they had the bombers here. They had the fuel time. They might just go for the strike and try and relieve whatever forces they have nearby.
Yeah, they might just, I think they're going to pull right up over it then. Yeah, I think you're right. They're pulling right up over it.
Yep. Looking at it now, yeah, bomber's going to rise over top. This battleship is on borrowed time and it doesn't know it yet. Bombers materialize. Point defense kicks on. That is Sarissa's and torpedoes and 20 mil, and yeah.
That's so much 20 mil.
It is a lot of 20 mil, but I don't think it's enough. This is too many torpedoes to... Yeah.
Nope. Ouch, that hurt.
Crippled, but not dead. Damage control teams all migrate from the engines.
This thing's an Intel Center Analysis Annex?
So it does. Analysis Annex. Certainly one of the components of all time. Speeds up your intel gathering, but with an Intel Center already being like 15 times faster than normal, I don't really think you need the Annex.
So with this, they're down to 1 turret and no ammunition elevators, I think.
B point, still somehow, this Corvette is down here alive. I don't know how this... Why have they not just shot at BG yet? What?
Wait, Neko, this battleship doesn't have an ammunition elevator.
Wait, what?
Oh, it only has 1.
It has a rapid cradle and an ammo elevator.
A mount gyro.
A stroke correlator, track correlator, fail safes, mount gyro. Okay, mount gyro makes sense for the beam. Huh. I believe we call that a lore accurate ANS battleship.
Sure.
Yeah, perfect.
The enemy is securing zone eclipse.
With the points looking at 854 blue and 700 for
714 orange, yeah.
Blue having a 4 cap advantage, about to be a 3 cap. I think this might just be game.
I think that's game for it, yeah. I am amazed. Okay, look towards the B point. This torpedo corvette is still somehow alive. They have not swapped over to using HE rounds on it, despite like the pounding this thing has taken. I guess all the RPF rounds...
Decide.
Did it? Well, okay, Never mind. They finally break the whiplash drive down with some rear shots to actually kill it, and that's all it took.
Still, I don't think it's normal. Even if your track quality and accuracy are perfect, the shots should be spread around the hole, right?
Yeah, if you take a look at it, I think it's just the central aim point for the RPF rounds. They'll just spray it into the midsection, kind of like center of the
ship. It's just like kind of weird that it's all in the middle, because I know that shells are supposed to take aim points inside the target's hole randomly.
Might just be the Sprinter aim points are such that it just happens to fire the shot and then it corrects to like the midsection or something.
Or maybe it's the way that RPF shots are calculated, how
Yeah, it could be as well. They do kind of do a shotgun fragment spray across the ship.
I think because you can hit multiple ships with a single RPF round if they're close enough. I think that maybe that's it.
Might just be a weird edge case there. Either way, blue team has only got 88 points, I believe it is, to win. If I did my math right. Yep, 3 cap to 3 cap, and orange team on the other hand has got 242 to win. So I think this is pretty comfortably in the hands of blue. They can afford to lose a point if they so desire.
At this point, since it takes like 30 points of time to cap a point, they would need to. I don't think there's enough time.
Yeah, I think the blue team just comfortably has this. Orange team, they don't have anything to capture the D point. B point, I don't think is going to be given up. Looks like they're calling it there. Battleship remains active over towards the E point side despite eating all those torpedoes. Beam has been used to clean up some of the Capra corvettes and stuff.
Battleships are resilient.
Yeah. Even against that kind of strike level. Why can't my battleships do this? Why is it whenever 8 bombers looks at me, I get annihilated, but other people get an 8 battleship...
Wait, Neko, hold up. This battleship has E-regs, too.
Wait, it does?
It has E-regs.
Where the heck are those?
In the middle, right next to the Citadel CIC.
So it does.
In the bag.
Huh. I guess it's primarily a beam function battleship, just with 450s as the topside batteries. Okay, Sarissa's actually getting into arc on Buzzsaw Flight. Might pick off 1 or 2 of these. More torpedoes going out there. PB-22 tries and does succeed in the launch. Torps gonna find their way into the stalwart Dawn.
Oh, that bomb's gonna hit and gray out them things.
Maybe not.
No,
Just barely.
It missed. It missed.
So close to that one. Bomb, slight bit of error there, or otherwise just drifting.
And the bomb nearly hits his escape pod on its way out.
Ah, yes, little war crime just for the Oh, right. Escape pods get stuck on this map. I forgot about that too. It's just like how this bluff.
That's a bit awkward.
All right. Yep.
I feel so.
Hang on.
For
Hallow is apparently engaged in fisticuffs in the backfield as Doki's trying to aggress here. Python Flight has. Yo, you haven't seen this in ages, but 35 mil slugs are getting used against some of these Capper Corvettes. That's really cool.
What?
Yeah. Back on the Seapoint Natural. Hallow's there as well with a belly gun on the carrier, which actually I kind of like. Oh, it's a deck gun. Never mind, not the belly gun. Honestly, yeah, 35 mil slug. It's kind of cool to see it come back. That was something I think was carrier testing that they had kind of be a problem, and then it just got dropped down.
If it did too much damage, yeah, it would just shred everything.
Yeah.
And then if it didn't do enough damage, it wouldn't do anything. So it's like.
Sadly, it's one of those cases where it's like really hard to make it good without making it too good.
Because of this, it's mostly because of the sheer fire rate makes it really hard to deal with.
Like you bump that thing by like 1 damage point, and it suddenly goes from doing nothing to doing everything. Anyways, let's check through this post-game review. Doki with the cap blade able to do respectably well. Beam Destroyer is very healthy at the end of the game, which is weird to say for how Beam Destroyers typically end up. Usually see the nose of those things redded out from Battle Short.
Yeah.
Andy Starr did a little bit of work sweeping there. Okay, damage on the one CL, other one kind of got booped. Kiwi Burb with the missile Axford got shy of 10k. Soviet Union suffering there, but still able to soak pretty well with the Axford. Tasty, flat, perfect 18,000 on the one group of Claymores and 1,300 or 13,000 on the others.
What I find interesting is why did Tasty elect to wait? Why are these different designs? What?
That's a good question. I have no idea.
Yeah, what I'm curious is why did Tasty elect to drop the KB-22s on the S3 bombers instead of making just like one S2 bomber per group of S3 bombers?
Yeah, I've definitely seen that combo go before. S2 bombers on live carry 4 missiles, but we've been doing test branch seeing them carry 6, and that's been really good for finisher strike. Let's briefly go through the end game here. Battleship took a lot of damage, dealt a good chunk as well, shy of 16k there. Demisan with the kind of interesting, like, I like the concept for these, like, dispersed, like, 3 groups of, torpedo vets, but they're really hard to micro by the looks of it, so.
Yeah.
Didn't want to make a new bomber, was lazy. Fair enough, Tasty.
Fair enough.
General Stop did very well. Axford pretty healthy, save for, like, 1 or 2 punches on it. 23.5k, I think is the highest of any ship we've seen here. Hallow's Carrier and Friends fleets. Bombers didn't do the most, never really got their targets. A couple of fighter sorties attempted against Tasty, but there's just so many bombers to go around, hard to find that. Lastly, Lambo pulling, there it is, 27.4 on this thing. Yeah, the supersized 2 plus the Mark 65. Cool fight.
So hey, Neko.
Yes.
You know how List likes to put new public test branches up like during streams?
Uh-oh.
Something to enjoy for later.
Uh-oh. Why have I been mentioned? Hang on a second. Who is pingeth me? Where is...
I've been pinged by
Garg. No. Change log. Liz, are you in chat? Where's active users? Searching. Where's Martyr Carrick? Not in here right this second, though. Okay. So, interesting. So, either way, good stuff. All right. Want to hop back to main server and hear them losing their minds over new PTB?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. This is going in the VOD. All right. Hello, everyone. We are back from the Twitch side of things.
Hello.
Let's see. Where is it?
What happened?
All right. Was that the last one? Is Vastal saying they're done? We weren't here, so. Where is Vastal? I have to find Vastal now. Where is that seal-shaped individual? Vastal
left.
Hang on a sec. Where's the levy? Tell them 5-minute break stuff.
Wait, so
okay.
are we just on our own
5-minute break.
now?
All right. Vastal left.
I
Okay.
guess. All right.
Also, a new PTB just dropped.
Okay. Yep, new PTB just dropped. Thank you, Liz.
This bit is the best bit I think I've ever seen of Liz constantly dropping PTB on stream.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Liz, like, determined to turn me into a reaction streamer. Thank you.
Actually, was most of the matches like recorded or like?
Yes. So
yes, they were.
My side, I did not have the DLO server for the first 2 games, but my Twitch VOD will be up afterwards this, and I'll post it on YouTube, so you can go back and watch the silliness there as I cast and commentate with the help of Star.
Okay, because I know I did it on the first match. I'm not sure about the second match that I did.
Yeah, games will be up before too long, and then we'll go from there. Vastal, I think it dipped out here in Leviathan, so they need a few minutes, so.
I have good news. The new PTB patch killed the 9-monitor cap bleed.
Good. Did it also
Oh, you
kill
mean the
the,
changes that-
what's it, 4-monitor carrier fleet?
I hope so.
So
I am
basically what's
glad to see the 9-monitor cap bleed dead. It is so ass to play.
Okay, so what the PTB has done is that the DCX, I believe, is... Wait, where is it? Yep, the DCX is now cheaper in exchange for the ships that can mount the DCX, accepting the CON, are now more expensive. So now there's more
Basically,
incentive
the way
to
it
mount the
works. Basically, the way it works is that Flathead and Marauder are now 25 points more expensive, and the DCX is 25 points cheaper.
Okay.
So on a normal build, there's no change in cost, but on like a creature build, you get hit.
Basically, you're more incentivized to invest in DCX, which makes you more incentivized to invest in a DCS. Then you're more incentivized to invest in DC in general and everything else, and you just end up with a normal fleet or regular.
However, the DCX cost multiplier is now 4x, so Pyrope's double DCX liner now is dead.
Double DCX got reduced in points by 20 points, I think.
Yeah, because even though the
never mind.
cost multiplier went up, you still have a 25-point discount.
So, wait, hang on. Does that mean that Pyro's build just got buffed?
Yes, 20-point buff.
God help us all.
Oops.
That was all really fun. I'm gonna go for tonight.
All right. But yeah.
Have fun, everyone.
Yeah, I think that's going to be Fight Night mostly wrapped up then, because I haven't heard any words about continuing on.
Alright,
You're all
I'm
welcome to in your own time. We got new PTB change logs to look at and segue from here. So yeah, enjoy yourselves with that stuff. You got new ideas for fleets. We got a public test brunch, I think, later? I'd have to check dates. I think Darg's hosting one, or there's other games organized.
Darg's hosting one
tomorrow.
Brunch
Tomorrow,
I believe.
Yeah, so there you go. You all have enough time to cook up some ideas, make the wonderful and horrible creatures you're known for. Yeah. I think that's where I'm going to wrap up the stream. For anyone who's just watching stream side, you can see the patch notes here. Remember, this is a public test branch, so you got to set your beta branch thing and then go over there and mess around with stuff. Games will be hosted. It will be a fun time. Yeah, stay positive. I'm just going to wrap up stream here then.
All right.
All right, folks. Like I said, wrapping up stream here. So let me just leave a stream together thingy. Actually, where's Star? I'll briefly hop back into my live branch. Oops. There we are. Where did the Star go? Check with the Star there. I should have asked before I dipped. Oops. Minor mistake on my part. Oh no. Oh no, you're building. Oh god, hang on. Okay, let's read these patch notes together then, chat, shall we? We'll just add this on. This is content, obviously. Yeah. Okay, so like they said, they increased the Flathead monitor cost to 200, was 175. Okay. Increased the Marauder hull cost to 375, was 350. They decreased the damage control complex to 55, was 80, and increased the compounding effect to 4x, was 3. So it still punishes you for bringing a whole bunch of them, but it's like they said, it's a net 20 points cheaper to bring double DCX if you choose to do that. That is a personal choice. I would not recommend it, but okay. They decreased the MLS 2 and 3 point cost to 15 was 20, which means they kind of make missile builds a little cheaper. That's kind of nice. The Sturgeon 100mm gun pods ammo storage was wow.
Let's see. From my follows, looks like Doc, Vivi, and Arrow are still streaming.
Okay. I was just going through the patch notes here briefly. Let's see who's doing what. Max is apparently doing a special event thing. Let's see what he's up to. What is Max up to?
Hello?
Max, one of the other Neb creators we like. Hang on a sec. Am I on push to talk?
Neko?
I'm on push to talk, aren't I? God damn it.
You didn't forget to turn off push to
I
talk,
forgot to
did
turn
you?
off push to talk. I was trying to talk to you and it did not work. Okay. Yeah, I was saying that Max was on. I was just reading through the patch notes here now. Might as well as we got some time.
Oh,
yeah, just
Max was...
yeah. Looking at stuff. DC Complex change and the Flathead Marauder. Honestly, kind of like that because again, those are compartments that you're expected to bring. So this change makes it so it's like a little bit again more incentivized to build up your ships, which has always been one thing that's good in Neb when the ships are built up instead of just empty like skeletal hulls. A couple of these are interesting. Like I just was reading the Sturgeon gun pod one. Ammo capacity on those was halved, which is I can see why, because like some of the cases, like you know, in the early game, like a rollout for a more line is like you get your like skiffs and like maybe a pike or two, and like then your 4 surgeons up with 100 mil and they just kill off a sprinter. Seeing that ammo count get halved. Spearfish submunition cost multiplier to 0.5 was 1, so Tasty is losing their mind because that was one of the bug fixes I think they were asking for about the way that goes. PB2 submunition. Okay, so containers are back on the menu. Submunition stuff, cool.
Ceramic tiling cost is decreased. That's neat.
Let's see. Remove brace frame from all craft fuselage sockets. That's okay. I'll be honest. I kind of called that one. I thought they were not going to increase the health bar because, yeah, the health bar was a bit of a problem there when we saw like bombers just laughing as breadsticks impact them into nothing. Point cost of ceramic tiling to 6 points was 8. Okay, so that's the armor thickness one, I think, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
the problematic thing about the armor thickness is that it doesn't hit many breakpoints. I was informed it does actually hit the SDM2 breakpoint because apparently it the damage from the warhead slightly rounds.
Interesting. All right, so that's something to keep an eye on. I also remember the one thing where it's like, yeah, 35 mil slug. It's good against bombers because they got potentially 3.5 centimeter armor, and then 35 slug does like 4 centimeters pen. And Lone Wolf was like, yeah, that was totally a change thing that I called and thought about, yes. Add a different server icon for official dedicated. Oh, that's nice. Official servers are now sort top of the match by default. Added new player mentor badge for players in lobbies. Yeah, hey, that's a nice change. All right.
Oh, you can mark your server as competitive? That's so cool. DLO is definitely going to do that.
Yep.
At some point.
Again, it's like games with a competitive scene and with a more casual scene, it's important to like give both players their spaces because if you get like the hyper competitive sweat stack against like 4 middies trying out the game, that's not really stack v stack. Server labels for multiplayer filters, multiplayer game filters now save across restarting the client.
Oh, so you tag your servers with whatever tag you want. That's cool.
Yeah, honestly, good patch. I like it.
Solid patch in general.
Yeah. Trying to think if there's anything like, because we'd watched a bunch of like PTB games. I think the stealth coding still needs to like get a little more data from, because we've seen, I know Tasty had run a build on Salar that kind of showed off just how dangerous it is getting those ships close. I like the space kind of for upgrades on craft being a thing, but I think it's like figuring out which ones are the ones that are going to stay, which ones are going to go. The health bar change definitely needed to go because that changed so many breakpoints. Like the coil gun thing, for example, right? Like every Barracuda just basically ran added HP because then they didn't die to coil guns and then they just brawled and won. Right. Looking forward to messing around with these things at least. I don't know. I don't have anything like immediately jumping out at me here. I think this is just a way to encourage people to not spam a whole bunch of cheap ships, which has always been like the big problem Neb has with spam, where people spam like fighters, like you saw was like 100 Tanto builds or something, right? Yeah. Wasn't really the HP buff. It was a cheap HP buff. No, it It was the HP buff that was the problem. When you have something like that, be like 2 points, 4 points, 8 points, or whatever, it's just the fact that that's in the cards. Like, that changes so much of the build design philosophy around it.
I mean, Firebird says it was the cheap HP buff, being the problem being just mostly the fact that it was only 2 points.
Oh yeah, definitely like the plus 20 HP for 2 points, that was a problem. But just the added HP, just how much that changes, like in terms of like shots to kill and hit markers and stuff like that. Like, oh, okay, like did I just roll badly? There, yeah.
The Blade of Foam is still there, though.
Yeah. It's like the Ablative Foam one, that's the plus 30, I think, for 4 points. So,
yeah.
And I don't believe that goes on bombers, and I don't think that is...
I think it goes on bombers. I don't think it actually hits any breakpoints.
On bombers? No, plus 30 definitely does. Right? Because that's surviving breadstick level.
I don't think it is. Is it?
Should be. Here, let me just go into the fleet editor.
Yeah,
and
let me
explain more right now. Where's Amethyst? Something. Yeah, missile design. What's that? I have a breadstick save somewhere in here. Here's bomber breadsticks. This does 139 damage versus the Sturgeon bomber has 135. So yeah, you can pay for the extra health bar to tank through breadsticks and stuff. Yeah, it gives no additional breakpoints, but it does still carry the problem of having that.
It still hits the bread.
Yeah.
Breakpoint.
I personally don't think that is going to survive because we've already seen like the initial one, like the cheap plus 20 go away, and then we saw the like for 4 points plus 40 get dropped down to like for 4 points plus 30. I don't think it's going to survive because it just the breakpoint changes are really rough.
I personally think that there should be a way to upgrade the HP. Just so you don't, it's less so of spamming bombers and more so of investing into your bombers vertically.
I think that's the biggest thing is like, the intent behind it is to reward people investing into their bombers and building up their craft, much in the same way you build up a ship. Because in Neb, you're encouraged. Like every mechanic is encouraging you to build up your ship. There's the integrity rating, there's damage splitting across multiple components because of the way like high explosive splash works. You're always encouraged to build up your stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, it sounded like you had something to add on to that, and I didn't want to cut you off.
I was gonna say HE shells, then I realized, wait, high explosive splash. That's what you meant.
Yeah. Yeah. Putting foam on every cooldown and more line is much more of a trade-off than putting braced on. Craft need HP buff to be worthwhile to invest into. Yeah, this might seem kind of weird, but like, part of me thinks that like what I want for craft, because I don't think that craft are a problem on their own. Like when you get like the backpacks on like a Axford, a battleship, like those small numbers of craft. Actually,
honestly still fun.
Can I completely nerd out for a little bit here as we wrap up stream, right? I had actually at one point talked. Yeah, I was just gonna. Okay, I mean, I was saying for permission, but I'm gonna just talk anyways. I talked at one point with Liz about free space. Apparently, they'd done free space modding before, and I'm a big free space fan. I need to stream that game at some point. It's a wonderful game. So in that game, it's really cool seeing fighter craft because the fighters are powerful. They can take down capital ships, but they typically come in wings of 4, maybe 5. Usually is 4. So you get these interesting like matchups there. It was like wing of 4 against wing of 4, and I feel like Neb's issue is that in a way the fighter craft combat is actually kind of cool. Like seeing these like 4v4s, like a backpack group against a backpack group, or like a journeyman squares off against like one flight of Tantos, like a group of 6 against a group of 5. But once you get like the big numbers, it really falls apart. Like you get those like blobs where it's like 20 fighters in one wing because the Moorline did like 2 deck cycles and spanned all that out. Like you can just field 28 SDM2 carrying Barracudas, and that's like, how do you fight this? Like there's no splash damage. How do you kill this? Yeah. So you just get the big fighter blobs.
And then it just gets worse.
Yeah, and tying this into free space as well was like in free space, it was very easy like designing custom levels. As I looked at a bunch of custom levels, it's like, oh yeah, this is really cool. Just there's like 100 fighters on the like board at the same time, and that's really, really painful to play. Yeah. I like that we're moving more towards like investing into fighters. And my extreme take is I honestly want carriers to like have half of the fighter count, but like just basically buff craft in that regard. Like, I don't know, like loosely speaking, like have the number of fighters, but double their HP or something. So like you're rewarded for doing more deck cycling and like coming back. It's a flawed system, like, and it's very simplified, but I just like there being less fighter craft, but like more meaningful ones, you know? So I think that's cool. And then you can customize them with like upgrades and like maybe like elite status pilots or something, so they get like the 2v1 behavior of Kantos or cool shit like that.
I remember that being a suggestion back during carrier testing. Like you could buy better fighter AI.
And again, the fighter AI is also like it's difficult to understand exactly what's happening because sometimes it's the auction glitching out, sometimes it's like the fighters are convinced they're under attack, and a lot of it is difficult to figure out.
A little better now because now you can tell them to not evade at all unless.
Oh yeah, like the manual overrides there.
Patches.
And I'm glad
it's
to
really
see like
interesting with high capacity chaff if you set them to scram. I think it was where they just run away.
Yeah, so you just like have them run away and then like you get better control. Because yeah, that's what I think like craft would be best as. Like ideally less craft, so you're not like as spammy. Each loss is felt, but also it feels rewarding to invest into your ships and like build up a bunch of their stuff there. I like the idea of like having your bombers or fighters and stuff, like all the customizations, like you get the heads up display, so they have like the like extra missile launch range or whatever, or like the double channels.
Yeah.
Cool stuff like that. Yeah. That's stuff to figure out on PTB though. Anyways, shall we raid into someone then, or are you gonna keep on streaming? Go PTB. Your choice.
I'm probably going to end it here just because I do need to get food. I need to do other things.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough then. Shall we raid into Max, who does some witchy nebulous stuff himself?
I can't seem to let me just actually try to search for Max.
Yeah, I can just grab their username if you want to make that easy on yourself. Here you go.
I found Max.
All right.
What are they doing? Let's see.
They're doing Apex by the looks of it. So
Apex, I think that's Apex, right?
Yeah, that's Apex Legends. I played more Apex Legends than I probably should have. Anyways,
I've only seen my friends play it.
It's fun with friends. Don't take it too seriously is my best advice. It's kind of
I think for any game, really.
It's the League of Legends of first-person shooter battle royales, if that makes sense.
Oh,
yeah. Anyways, let's go see what that's about, shall we? I'm loading my missile key. All right. Initiated. 10 seconds to launch. Are you with me, Star?
Yep.
All right. Also, further shameless shilling. Star and I, we have our we've got our Twitch channels. Obviously, follow all that. I've got a Discord server. Star, I think you have one as well, right?
I have one. I just haven't. I should be posting when I go live there. I just haven't.
Fair enough. But yeah, Star's here. They're a cool person. Make sure you follow them as well. We do Mechabella, Nebulous, Bar, other silliness there. Friend of the channel and that. So yeah. All right. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right. For now, good night, everyone. Have a good one. Meow meow.
See ya.